said, hey, everybody. Slunchy. Welcome. You are watching the live stream of Lognarok, which is me. I'm Logan. And that music was from Cullah.com. Cullah is a tremendous musician that produces royalty-free music. Every year on his birthday, he releases a new album to celebrate his life, but also give back to the world for giving birth to him. Newest album, Firebird, I believe, was just released. It hasn't been released, but the name Firebird has just come out, and that will be April 27th, 2022. Head over to Cullah.com. Share his music on your streams. Give him a shout out. Back his album every year. You know, he does such a great job sharing music that certainly not a bad idea to back him and help promote that free music ideology where royalty free and like helping each other out, artists helping artists. And if you're watching this channel, you're here to see our form of art, creative storytelling, as this is episode 2 of the Birth of the Red Dragon campaign. Birth of the Red Dragon is a homebrewed campaign by yours truly. I'm the game master. And it is taking place in the Land of Aurum. Aurum has been around for a handful of thousands of years. Dragons reigned before the magical people. Before the dragons, it was just a gratuitous amount of earth elementals and other pantheon. Fast forward to the present, it's 976 or 978, Born Empire year. And there has been an evil sorcerer that kind of made his presence known in a barren volcano that for a year, 100 years now, 150 years, 250 years maybe. It's all in the Aurum background page that I can share with my Discord friends. You guys are listening here on a story of the sorcerer starting to really pick up his front in the war, and our adventurers met at a tavern. I know no adventurers have ever met in a tavern before, but let's be real, that's where all great stories begin. And have done a couple small side quests, building some steam, but recently and accidentally came into contact in an old dwarf ruin that a wizard was hijacking and using astral plane teleportation technology, pulling materials from the abyssal plane and using them to basically 3D print Duragar, the adventure, and teleporting them then to the volcano to join the sorcerer's army. The adventuring party shut that shit down real quick. They heavily broke down the wizard. They made it back to the city closest to them in the so-called Dark Frost, which is the highest mountain peaks and coldest by far region of the whole known lands. And they were hurt from the encounter. They were tired from the encounter. And like all good adventurers, they went back to a tavern to indulge themselves, but got into some local trouble and started running away. Hey, grab that flag and a mead while you can. The show's about to start, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Drowning fish. Yeah, it's a nice day for fishing, ain't it? And so, yeah, again, they found themselves drowning their proverbial fish at a tavern and got some local trouble and started a pretty intense, it got to a point like a police chase, like a local mob. And we'll get more into that soon, but we're going to introduce our adventurers first. Hey guys, welcome back to the party. This time around, team, let's just say our character name. If you want to say your real name, you're more than welcome to do that as well. I'm Logan. I play Lognarok the DM. And you can say just your character class and your character race. And why don't we start with our wizard?
Hello. My name is Josephine. I play Nerva, the Drow Abjuration Wizard.
Okay.
Okay.
Abjuration Wizard is something that I only knew from looking at in the player handbook, but watching Nerva play has been a lot of fun. Great support class. And next, let's move over to we got 2 fighters, but let's move over to our most drunken fighter first.
Is that me?
The other fighter is sober. Like you have to ask.
Hi, my name's Kevin. I play Peyo Morisan. I'm a human outlander fighter, an interdimensional fighter, or like a Cyanide.
Hell yeah. And Peyo Morazan has been in my last campaign as well. And there's a whole... Peyo Morazan deserves a whole Netflix series. Beautiful character arc, ups and downs. We'll move to our next fighter now. A little bit more older school, as you know, and a lot more sober.
Hi, I'm Tamir, and I play Eliard, who is a fire ganassi, half fire ganassi, half human, and he is an Eldritch Knight.
Yeah, it's a really cool combination. Just having a fighter that can wield a scimitar like a whirling dervish tornado while simultaneously breathing fire out of his hands. So, really building the character up now in the later end of his career as he's a retired, soldier.
If only he had better roles.
Yeah, yeah. Shots fired.
Maybe he
Shots fired.
Maybe he needs to start drinking.
10 minutes in, shots are fired. Yeah, that's true. Your character hasn't even had a drink yet. Maybe who knows what kind of luck points will come from that. Okay, next we should move on to our close to fighter, but not so much a fighter yet. More of a lover and a town hero, a folk hero, a big bright red bird. Why don't you take it away?
All right. My name is Jose. Hi, everyone. I play Erizo Nocturne, our Eric Cochran, aka Birdman, ranger who's lately been bloodthirsty for a good hunt. So let's see where this goes.
Yeah, it's something that I have to keep reminding myself as we're moving through the story. You're a ranger, and we've been doing a lot of this outdoor stuff and everything, but you haven't had a good recreational hunt in a while. Or a good, bounty to follow.
Exactly.
Then why don't we move over to our most pleasant healer and just a big teddy bear of a character. You're next.
I'm Trent, and I play Getafix, who is a furball druid.
Yeah, Getafix is awesome. It's if I had to pick a D&D character to narrate my real life and play me as a character, that question, if you had to pick an actor to play your your documentary, who would it be? I would pick Getafix. I feel I just relate way too closely to that character. Just the mumbling and the nature and all the other big nature man energy. And then the newest member to our campaign, who we recently found while shutting down the Wizards' 3D Durgar printing operation, one of the lab techs that had survived, that one of the human scientists slaves that were in there had bumped into the party in the escape. It was kind of ominous though. Just kind of showed up and was like, "Hey." And they recognized him hey, you're the guy from the lab. And he's like, yeah, quick, follow me. I got a plan. And they took off running. So yeah, go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, so my name is Brian, and I play Garett, and I'm going to leave a few other things up to mystery at this point.
Cool. Yeah, I really like that. I think that's appropriate too, since the adventuring party kind of met you and
didn't ask a single question about me.
They were exhausted. They'd been up for 24 hours fighting. They met you and they were like, holy shit, but you're going to help us get out of here. And technically, everyone just mounted the proverbial and literal camel and just rode out of Dodge. But if you guys missed episode 1, that's on you. We're not going to recap that hard. So let's dive into the adventure. You guys are in the city of Goodhead. It is handful of hours, less than a handful of hours until dawn. And very lastly, we'll just pick up right here. Nerva, you were last seen walking the streets at night. If you remember, you bought a Yeti coat from the Goliath.
I do remember.
So you're wearing that. And you're wearing this nice, lush Yeti coat, hood up, and through the streets with your fingers prowling through the air, sending telepathic messages, hoping one lands in the mind of a sleeping Eliard who had gotten separated by the party and wound up sleeping in a horse stable on the other side of town. And some guards had spotted you, Nerva, at pinning you down and taking 10 gold for themselves as kind of like an extortion. The thugs, I mean town guards, revealed that a messenger owl had recently flew to the Aurora Tower carrying a note that the Empire was on their way. And by morning time, the adventuring party will have to deal with them and not just the town guard. Well, half of the party is suffering from exhaustion and taking a short rest in a stockpile warehouse. And Eliard is in a horse stable. Nerva, like, how do you want to spend your next... You were scouring for Eliard. How do you want to spend these next 2 to 3 hours? We'll just fast play it. How do you want to spend, like, these next couple hours? Do you want to keep searching for Eliard?
Yeah, so...
You're right now in the middle of town.
Yeah, my idea was to just keep pointing that little message around until I got a reply.
Okay.
Nerva's a little frustrated with how things went.
Well,
She she tried, to not abandon our companion who was getting beat the shit out of, but
yeah. And maybe you have some respect for Eliard just because he's been kind of like a very stable-minded person relative to the rest of the party.
Right.
And I'm gonna say this, and I hope I'm not taking too much control of your character, but maybe when you left the stockpile warehouse, you weren't just going to look for Eliard. You maybe just wanted to go take a fucking walk and just get away from the madness and then go find Eliard. I'm gonna say that after about 2 hours of scouring the streets, the guards have already made it aware to you that they can't necessarily touch you now that the owl came and said that the Empire was looking for your guys' party, and they were told to not interfere. So you kind of have a little bit more confidence. I'm not going to make you roll any stealth checks. It is so early to morning time, it couldn't possibly have anybody up right now other than the guards who were at the base of the Aurora Tower that had already spoken with you. So after 2 hours, Eliard, you are in the stables. You've been having a tremendous sleep. I don't know if you got a chance to roll any hit dice last game to heal up.
I don't believe so. Let me just check my...
It looks like you
Let me just
rolled
check my character
one.
sheet.
Oh wait, that's because you didn't level up. So real quick before you wake up, just because. Okay, and so here's a new homebrew rules.
Yeah.
Homebrew rule. You guys are aware of the bloodied condition, which means you're less than half health. Less than half. These tongue tires are getting me today. Bloodied condition means that you are less than half health. There's another indicator that's going to help really narrow things in for you guys, and it's called being mortal, or like mortally wounded, but just mortal for short. That is 10 health points or less. So, Eliard, for you and the party,
So I'm mortal right now.
when the party last saw you, you were mortal. And you can roll hit dice. You have 5 of them to spend. And for every hit dice you spend, you need 8 hours to get 1 back. So you can spend as many as you want right now. Just roll a 10-sided dice. And, oh, did you get your new dice?
I did.
Nice. So you can roll a 10-sided dice. That's like the weirdest looking one in my opinion. It looks like 2 umbrellas.
Yeah.
So
I see it.
you can roll that one up to 5 times, and you can take those HP back. But you can do that in the private time once you mute your mic and you want to run through all those rolls. You want to do all that. But we're going to focus on the role play here in a second. But we can just go back and say that while you were in the stable sleeping for that short rest, you had used your health dice to get that health back. So feel free to roll that whenever you want. But right now, did you have a question?
So really quick, yeah.
Yeah.
So you said I can only roll 1 hit dice for every 8 hours.
No. You can roll all 5, but you cannot. But it takes 8 hours to regenerate 1 hit dice.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's gonna take you 40 hours to bring back 40 hours of resting, not just like 40 hours in general, but 40 hours of actively not doing anything total. Or just like after 8 hours of sleep, you get 1 back. After another 8 hours, you get another 1 back. But right now, you're in the stables while you're resting. And Nerva, what is the sending? So remember, Nerva, you've been repeating this sending message so many times. It's maybe gotten robotic. It's maybe gotten anything, or maybe you're just like, whatever. Yeah, take it away. What is the sending message that hits his head? And Eliard, how do you respond? How does that role play sound?
Right. So it's the message cantrip. It's not the sending spell. Just for clarification. Basically, I'm just like Eliard. It's me. Please wake up. I need to know where you are. I'm just kind of like, it's telepathic, but I do need to point my finger. I'm trying to like not just have my hands out, but just kind of pointing around and being like, Eliard.
And what exactly is the 6-second message that hits Eliard to wake him up from his sleep?
It's a little bit, it's past panicked at this point. It's a little tired maybe. But I'm just like, Eliard, are you around here? It's Nerva. Don't be scared.
Yeah, I love that. Just like, Eliard, please
Question
respond.
real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
If I rolled past, so I had 6 health points, and it took me 4 rolls, and I got 32. Does that mean I would have 38 max?
No, you'll have 30. You can't go past 32.
Okay.
So if your 4th one, or if the 4th one you rolled would have, if the 3rd one you rolled would have put you at max HP, you can just not roll that 4th one and you can take it back.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man, I'm just going to put you at 32 HP. I'm going to put you back up to your max health wheel. We're going to just call your hit dice what they are. But go ahead. You were sleeping in the stables, and Nerva, you just heard, Eliard, where you at, man? Don't worry, it's me. It's Nerva. And that enters your brain while you're sleeping. What's your response?
The word Nerva, that's what like enters my brain.
Right. And you can respond briefly.
I respond with like Nerva as like a question, and I just wake up like I I'm kind of I wake up really suddenly and kind of panicked, like, oh shit, how long have I been asleep for?
So I hear him reply like, Nerva?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just like reply with like, hey, where are you? I'm looking for you. Everyone's safe.
You got your finger pinpointed in the area, in the area from whence it came.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just be like, can you tell me, like, can you just describe where you are, and I'll come to you.
On board the horse stables. Well, no, I'm in the horse stables. Just follow the smell.
Yeah,
Alright.
and that's right to your left. Like that's like you're pointing at like a big barn-looking thing. There's a sign above it. There's a sign above it that says Pony Go. And it's just like a company's like horse stable, and you can see that right to your left shoulder.
Sure, yeah. I like it's dark, but I have dark vision. I'm a drow, so I kind of just like glance at the sign and glance down, and maybe I see like a horse, like, you know, eating some grass or something, and then I like look, peek around the horse, and I assume I see Eliard, like
Absolutely, he's right
a
there.
pile of hay or shit or something.
Eliard, do you sleep on your stomach or your back?
My back.
Okay, yeah, Eliard, you're just laying there on your back looking up at the ceiling. Okay, keep carrying on, guys. Take over the dialogue. Give me some time to drink some
You were
wine.
wrong about the smell.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Well,
You looked like shit when we left, and I really didn't mean to leave you behind like that.
oh no, it's quite all right. I managed to escape just fine. How's the rest of the group? Where is everybody?
Funny you should ask. I left them in the company of a stranger in an abandoned building, and oh, I got stopped by police on the way here, so maybe That doesn't sound too good, does it, when I say it out loud?
Maybe we need to mosey back over to that group.
I would, yeah. I feel a lot safer with you with me, not gonna lie. So
No.
as we if we're deciding to walk back, I'll tell him like what happened to me with the guards. Like
Nice.
I'll
Yeah,
tell
just
him
give
what
him like a little exposition dump.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just be like,
about the letter and about the
yeah, you can just be
empire or
like
whatever.
walking back to the stockpile, and you can be like, yo, I'm gonna expo dump this just to save us all some time. That's perfect.
Yeah,
But
unless he wanted to say something else, I'm just saying like I
Best be
don't
on our way then.
Yep.
No time for formalities.
And but by the time you had found him and gotten into the stable, you see in the sky. Do you remember the 5 yellow pillars of light that were coming off these like rocks that were the wizards were casting? Almost like spotlights. They are all now turned
around the tower.
around the Aurora. Yeah, there were 5 carts or wagons with large stones in them, and wizards casting into them, shooting a beam of radiant yellow light up into the sky. Those are all now shifting over, and as they shift over, they are highlighting a massive balloon. There's this huge red, not 99 of them, just one red loft balloon that's coming up and landing at the Aurora Tower. And it's the same color as the Empire. You guys, like, all your characters will know that is like the Empire red that's landing there. So that's like the Empire's airship that's coming in. And so you now, Nerva, can ascertain that the airship, being only a couple hours out, sent an owl from their ship to send a message to the tower. And that's where those guards knew and had communication with them. And that's why they're like, well, the Empire's going to be here. And they said in their message to look out for this party and keep them protected. And they were like, they didn't know why, but they're just like, why would we protect these homicidal maniacs? These proverbial murder hobos. No, that's awesome. That's very good.
Can I like nudge Eliard and be like, that's the Empire. Should we
You guys are still at the stables too. Yep.
approach them because we're under protection, so should we get them to get the rest of our party or try to get the rest of our party first? I feel nervous without them, and I feel nervous a lot of the time.
I think we should approach him before we get the rest of our party. That's my thought.
Okay.
We don't know who this Garett fella is. And wait, do I've met
I
this
don't
person,
think we
right?
even know his name.
I don't know, Eliard. You don't know. You maybe while you were getting your ass kicked by the townsfolk, while you were getting like stomped on, maybe you saw the party members running off,
somebody.
and you could have recognized that guy as someone who was at the Heffamore dig site originally, where you guys just were. So you could recognize that person was someone that you recognized, and then they ran off with them. You're like, why did they run off with the guy from the dig site? So you don't know his name, Garett, though. So you can definitely say that you're sus about him.
Yeah, I'm a little sus about this fella.
Right. I mean, he did come from a dig site as like a prisoner, but you never know.
Cool.
But,
So
if you want to talk to the Empire, I will come with you. I'll just do whatever you feel is right.
cool. So you guys are gonna head to the Empire, or you guys are gonna head to the obelisk.
Right. My thought
Unless you
is
have
that
any
we won't
objection
really
to
be
this.
able to walk past without getting seen by them. So I'm going to not try to like sneak around it. Just like we have to walk in that direction anyway.
So you're saying you're gonna walk confidently to the obelisk, or you're going to? Well, I didn't catch that. You said it's not like you said you wanted to not be seen, but you have to be seen.
I just figure they're going to see us, so I'm not going to try to hide.
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
also, I don't have remorse personally for
Yeah.
like what happened, so I'm not like if a cop wants to give me trouble about it, I am not afraid to have an
I'll
attitude
chill
about
touch a motherfucker.
I will. I'll choke out a cop. I don't
Nerva
fucking care. No, I'm
has
just kidding.
had it. Nerva, you've been up now. Since you
I stayed up all night.
Yeah, and you've already been like you're pushing 24 hours now of not sleeping, even more. So you guys start walking over to the Aurora Tower, and for the rest of you who are in the warehouse, it is right before that dawn time that Garett had read in the investigating the warehouse manifest that said the shipping inputs and outputs and what's coming in at what time and who's going to be there. And it is now getting close to dawn. Are all of you sleeping? And who wakes up?
I was not sleeping.
I think
Oh,
as
yeah,
we
that's right.
woke up, he was talking to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. So let's just pick up there. Getafix, Garett, Peyo, and Erizo were all sleeping, and you were looking at the wagons, and you're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna move a couple stones over here. We're gonna move some of these things." You were strategizing a plan, and you're like, "So that's what we're gonna do, guys." And when you looked over, everyone was sleeping, but Garett, yeah, why don't you wake up then? And but we'll just say that a couple hours went by of Getafix mumbling and wondering what to do. So take it away.
Did you hear what I said?
No, I didn't actually. It was quiet.
No, I was asking.
Oh, okay, you're in character.
Did you get the plan?
What? No. What?
Wake up, you fool!
It's starting to get sunlight. We should probably get moving soon.
Like I was saying earlier, we need to move some of these rocks around so we can hide in these carts.
Raku.
All right. So I'm gonna get up and walk over the carts and start moving stuff, trying to figure out how we can get into these crates.
All right.
So looking around, how many crates are in the room and how big are they?
Oh, the room's bloody massive. So it's like
I forgot
picture.
about the crates.
Yeah, so like picture there's two wagons. Typical wagon, maybe 15 feet across, 20 feet long. Pretty big, like a big transport wagon. Throughout the night, Getafix, you've heard like some large horses like nearby neighing. Especially now that it's getting a little bit closer to morning. The horses are maybe even getting fed, like you're hearing them stirring around more in a nearby building. Two very large wagons. There's kind of like a staging platform. If you guys have ever worked at Whole Foods, the shipping and receiving dock, what that looks like is kind of what I'm picturing. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right, we worked there. That's where we met. And
Literally where we met.
that's kind of what I picture, is just like there's like a floor that you guys are all on that's got maybe, I don't know, anywhere from like 20 to 30 like pallets of stones, craftsman stones, mind you. These are very delicate stones, and then carved, very well chiseled, refined. And there are two wagons that are in like two separate shallow depots, and there's an aisle that separates them. And on the other side of the warehouse, there's two doors, like large staging doors that open up. And then the horses attached to the wagons. Both of the wagons are, for the most part, loaded up already. They are covered wagons. There is a big canvas covering over them. And the pallets are filled with some mostly artisan stones, and then some like salted fish and other miscellaneous goods. But it's mostly shipping brick and mortar.
I'm going to start unloading one of the crates.
Okay, so you can start unloading the wagon. Pretty effective.
At least a crate for myself.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
single
So
one.
you find, you basically so there's a lot of crates, and there's also like separate stones. You know how like a cinder block can, if you go to the Home Depot stores or anything like that, they come in so many different shapes and sizes nowadays. These look like they're maybe made specifically for a like decorative balcony or something like that, right? Like they're not like super massive cinder blocks, but they are like decorative rocks that are being shipped out. Those are going to take a little bit longer to move, but there are crates of like, salted fish, crates of other furs that are being sent outward. And so you can definitely start sliding a couple boxes out of the way to make some room for yourself in there.
Okay. So I'm gonna grab 3 of the decorative stones. How large are they? Big enough to fit in your hand, or like an actual cinder block?
They're about the size of a human head, a little bit bigger. Like if you put your hands on both sides of your head, that's kind of like what each stone is. There's roughly 36 times to like maybe, I don't know, like 100 stones on a pallet.
Sure.
Maybe that's way too much. I'm just picturing these like stacks of them.
Sure. So I'm gonna drop one on, as I'm moving, I'm just gonna drop one on purpose, and it's gonna be very evident that it's on purpose. And I'm gonna pick up 3 of the spots and take out a little like rock hammer that I have and chisel in a smiley face on each one. Put one in my pocket, and then I'm gonna give one to I'm gonna put one in Peyo's pocket when he's sleeping.
Okay, and you've just like broken one, and then just like chisel little smiley faces.
I've broken one on purpose, so it's they're kind of like jagged
little fragments
of this.
Yeah. Okay, and Getafix, you've been awake. Erizo and Peyo, it's kind of your wake up time, but are you guys, since nobody's woken you up yet? If you
I was wondering if that noise would wake me up.
Yes, I was just gonna say that would definitely wake you up. Originally, I had planned to have you guys all make Constitution checks to wake up because you haven't slept in so long. It's kind of like when you only get an hour of sleep. You've been playing D&D all night, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta get to work in an hour. But yeah, that smashing has definitely roused you guys. I don't think that you're alarmed by any means. Or you could be. That's totally fucking up to you. So yeah, you at the break of that brick. So maybe you didn't slip it in Peyo's sleepy pocket yet.
Hey, so I'm gonna walk. Hey, Getafix, Peyo, here. Grab one of these. If we get in a tight spot, just toss it.
Okay.
Don't drop it.
Well, that noise waking me up, like I jolted and like blue flames flashed out of my eyes briefly,
Yeah.
and I like look around and I'm like, the fuck.
Right.
And I
And
grab out
so
my
I'm just
sword.
gonna hand it to each of them and turn around and go back to my crate to start unloading. I'm keeping one in my pocket. Getafix has one. Peyo has one, if they accept it.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So Peyo, yeah, you were given a smiley face rock.
Confusedly.
Oh, cool, man. Thanks.
And I look over my shoulder. I'm like, yeah, don't drop it. Just remember,
I
tight
look-
spot. Give it a toss.
After he turns
Back to where I'm
around,
going.
I look at Peyo and roll my eyes.
I look at it and I just kind of stuff it in my pocket.
These were like palm-sized, by the way, so they're not that big. Easy throwing.
Easy throwing. Hucking.
However
So
you would like.
I look at Getafix and I ask, "Do you know what's going on?"
I just shake my head no.
So I get up and I start walking towards Garett, and I'm like, what's going on? What are we doing?"
Empire, they're coming. We don't really want to be involved with them at the moment. The shipment's going out in the morning. A couple hours, maybe an hour now.
Oh no,
We gotta
you
get these
since
crates.
real quick, Garett, since you were the one who studied the manifest, it's like game time. It's minutes.
okay.
Yeah, you know
It's
it's like game time now.
It's like, all right, if you guys want to get out of here alive, you better start getting a spot for yourself. This crate can fit me at this point.
Quickly
Shipment's moving
grab.
out in a few.
I
There's gonna be
quickly
activity.
I quickly grab one of the crates and take it off while as soon as he impressed that on me.
There's like 100 cinder blocks in that crate.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off some of them.
Yeah, I mean all of this, like I'm just like in my head thinking of the time, like of you moving the crate, putting the smiley face on the stuff, waking people up, Peyo start making a spot for himself. Erizo, what are you doing? You joining in?
Yeah, after that noise from earlier, definitely woke me up. That like the white-eyed pupils just like open up, taking that nice sunlight. Start getting up and then just overhear the conversation and just seeing, what has to be done. I say, all right, let's start making space, and we should probably definitely take into account making space for everybody else. Telling everybody else around me that, in case we run into them or they come a running when somebody trying to chase after them.
Cool. And then just real quick to mention, there is no sunlight.
Okay.
Yeah, just because you guys are still in the dark frost. Yeah, so it's still fairly dark, and there's no snow though. It's clear sky, dim light. It's dim. I'll say
Can
it's
I
dim.
ask a question?
Yeah, what's up?
So the people that are in the warehouse,
Yeah.
do they know anything about the fact that the Empire is looking for us? Because I found that out independently. Did
Yes.
that mention anything in their manifesto, or they just know that
All they
there's
know.
a shipment leaving and they want to get inside of it? Okay.
Yep. All they know is that they are leaving before the shipment leaves. They know the shipment's heading out shortly after sunrise or like at sunrise. You know what I mean? Like in the morning, it's saying.
And just a point of order, because I personally, Josephine, forgot about the fact that shipment thing was happening. So I maybe Nerva would have also told Eliard about
Oh, right.
the fact that there was like a loose plan.
Because you were a part of that planning originally in the warehouse when he's like, hey, there's a shipment leaving in the morning, like we should be a part of it.
The idea to leave in the crates.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to like play this out. I guess I'm cool splitting the party, but I know that's like a huge pain in the ass.
It's not a huge pain in the ass. It's anything that pains in the ass, we learned last week, make the most memorable gameplay. So, I would totally say that if you were walking towards the obelisk with Eliard and you just like, oh shit, that's right. Like, cause like maybe after hours of looking for him, you found him, then you saw the blimp and you're like, oh shit, that's what he meant. And you guys are like, well, we should probably just fucking confront this now. And on the way there, you might have been like, oh shit. Do you guys want to enter a dialogue for that? Or do you want to just like say that happened?
Well,
and
I
you
guess
guys start walking.
Would have said to Eliard something like, oh, I just remembered that the group is trying to like leave or they're trying to hide in a shipment that's leaving, I mean, incredibly soon. I don't know if we can even catch them. So I guess my question or idea is if we confront these Empire people, what are we going to say about the rest of our party? Or, I don't know. I guess we'll just jump off that bridge when we get to it.
Because Nerva is not a narc.
Right. I was ready to turn myself in.
I'll turn myself in, but like, shit.
I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, like, go check those crates over there. But at the same time, sorry, I'm taking up a lot of time right now.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
I also feel like if there's a bunch of crates that have cinder blocks sitting outside of them, that looks kind of suspicious too.
That's
like
metagamey. now you're getting.
I know. Okay. I'll shut up.
But there are pallets of cinder blocks on
all
the floor
over.
already.
Yeah, it's a warehouse. Yeah, there's like there's everything over there.
So as long as we stack them neatly,
and as long as you find a way to stop anybody from truly checking the manifest, but we'll figure that out later. Let's just focus on what's right away at hand. I just want to know, Nerva, are you guys heading back towards the warehouse then? Do you want to like? Did you mention that to Eliard and you guys change direction? Eliard, do you change direction with Nerva? You guys, after Eliard, after hearing the plan, Nerva goes, oh shit, and Expo dumps the plan on you. Do you want to convince her to continue to go to the obelisk, or do you want to go to the warehouse with her, is the question.
I raise an eyebrow, and I say to her, Let me think for a sec. Sorry.
No, that's okay, man. Take a second. That's totally fine. This is improv. What would Eliard be doing, right?
Well, Eliard would be walking very confidently in the direction of the obelisk, and then gets this expo dump of information, stops suddenly, raises an eyebrow, turns to Nerva, and says, well, why didn't you mention this plan before?
You know, that's a great question. I apologize.
None
it's been a long night. It's been a weird night.
And we head towards the warehouse.
Warehouse? Okay. Because I figured that we would just get stopped by these people anyway. So if you want to go in the direction of the warehouse, I'm down for that. I just kind of assumed if people are looking for us, they might stop us.
Well, if we do get stopped, I'm feeling much better now. And, yeah, maybe we won't resort to drawing blades this time.
Right, well, okay, that sounds good to me.
Cool. And as you guys are walking, you're kind of moving past the obelisk, and there are soldiers in very, like, puffy red coats. They've got, like, large, very down jackets over what you would imagine is just, like, some big armor and stuff, you know. They're just, like, big red Santa Claus looking soldiers. Michelin men, yeah, 100%. We're not sponsored by Michelin yet, but shout out to Michelin tires providing tension plastic. But yeah, so you definitely see them. They're bringing crates down and they're taking crates up. So it just looks like they're dropping stuff off. Some are taking stuff up. The rest of them are setting up tents. And the streets are actually starting to get a little bit more full now that you've spent about another 30 minutes walking over to the other side of town. There's like merchants mostly. You see people in fine like morning gowns, and they all have a sack of gold in their hands as they're kind of walking in a queue towards the obelisk. This is all information you guys could have learned last week. But yeah, so that's all happening now. And as you guys are walking past the obelisk, you see a young soldier who's actually not wearing a big down coat. He's just wearing a typical his cavalry armor, and he's mounting a horse that is being given to him by a townsfolk. He mounts up on it. He looks up and he makes eye contact with the two of you. He looks down at a couple of his comrades, and his comrades start laughing, and he just kind of smiles like cocky, and he clicks his heels to his horse and he starts trotting towards you guys. And we're going to pause that there as we go back to the warehouse. You guys are making room for yourself, and I'm going to say, like, while that was going on, you guys were all like, that's like already, that's kind of when they were walking past the obelisk and doing that. That's what was going on while you guys were packing yourselves into the cart. So you guys are now, you guys have your space packed in the cart. Getafix, I'm assuming you're with the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have a space for yourselves in the cart. Let's see here. Why don't we just do a first actual roll? Hit dice don't ever count. So first actual roll of tonight. Why don't we just do a group stealth check? The four of you all make a stealth check, just to see how well everybody did hiding themselves. Peyo got an 11. Erizo got a 10.
Big money, big money.
Ooh, Getafix got a 9. Because you're
9.
big. You're a big dude. And Garett got a 9 as well. So you guys, nobody even passed a 12 DC. You guys look like fucking cartoon characters in the back of this wagon.
This is what I was afraid of.
But don't worry. Or worry. I realize I'm the DM. I never worry.
I mean, I'm not worried.
So you guys are waiting there, and as time is passing, you can hear the horse stable next door. The door opens up. You can hear the reins of the horses getting tied on. You hear a couple of guys say, "Morning, sir," and there's a bunch of people, not a bunch of people, I'm sorry. There was just like a handful of townsfolk who are doing their morning stuff here at the market, at the quote unquote port of Goodhead. And the stableman's like, "Morning, sir. It's always a pleasure to meet a fine man like you." And they're just revering this man. There's some man that's, you could imagine, is probably just like waving to people or like head nodding, passing gold coins, purchasing, you know what I mean? This very well revered man. And then the door opens up to the warehouse, and you don't hear any footsteps, but you can like hear stuff moving around in the warehouse. Small things, just like papers ruffling around, and the horses are being backed up now, and sorry about that. And they're being carted up to the wagon. You can feel the wagon moving as it's like being attached to these horses, these larger Clydesdales. And then you hear, "And make sure that the wagon is in good condition. If you guys send me off with another bad wagon, I am done with this. You asked me to move your cargo, and I've been moving it for almost 100 years. And you guys better do it right." And they go, "Yes, sir. Absolutely, Willie. We would never disobey you. That was a fluke. That we couldn't even. We're so sorry. You're a good guy. We're sorry. And you're lucky that I bumped into those dashing adventurers who saved
pop
my
out.
life."
Yeah, as soon as I hear this, like, I start jumping out of the crate. I'm like, "Willie!"
And I say, "Willie, did you know that you could fit more crate on, or more, what's the word I'm looking for? More these carts aren't loaded correctly. We could fit more cargo on here.
Getafix! Peyo! What are you boys doing in here? Were you guys helping the Darkhands load me up?
That's exactly what we were doing.
Oh, that's so good. Wow, you guys truly inspired me when you gave me my first quest.
How did it go?
It's just good. I went to Oxteen and I told the party where you guys had done. You said you killed people. I didn't say you killed people. I just said that you took care of the job that you guys were going to do for them. And they said, good job for bringing us the word, Willie. And they gave me a reward. It's my questing reward. But I felt like my quest wasn't complete because I never saw you guys again. But this is good. And
You took that reward?
Oh, but hold on. They said there was something going on. Something not good. And this woman, this very sharp woman named, believe Lieutenant Moore, she had said that she needed to find you guys after days or 3 days that you guys were gone. She wanted to come find you, and and she came to find me. I said, I don't know. They were going to Goodhead, I think. They was talking to somebody. And suddenly my gnome voice turned into Jar Jar Binks, and I'm really sorry. but so she told me if I accompanied her to tell her about your information, that I could ride on her toll ship to get free transport here. It was very good. It was very nice. Wow, majestic sights on those big ships. But yeah, she's looking for you. If you remember Lieutenant Moore.
Do you know why she's looking for us?
She's very pleased. I know she's not mad.
And she's here in Goodhead now?
Yeah, she can't. That's her airship. I met her brother, Izzy. He's a good guy. Yeah, he's a good guy. I like him.
Can we see the airship at this point, or?
Yeah. There's the warehouse is kind of open air at the ceiling, like the top 5 feet. It's kind of, and as you kind of are peeking out, or like looking out kind of window areas, you can see the obelisk tower in the distance, and you do see the airship hanging there, large, red, and triumphant.
Well, as you can notice, Big Willie, as we are missing 2 people on your way in. Did you happen to see Nerva or Eliard?
And he walks over to the back of the wagon and goes, "Oh, Erizo!" And he runs up to you and he gives you a big hug, Erizo.
All I do is
he gives you
Willie!
Because with your folk hero background, that's been Willie's biggest dream, is to be a folk hero. You know what I mean? Like he just so badly just thinks you're the coolest guy ever, and he's Erizo, and he's hugging your chicken drumstick leg. It's like, yeah, so good to see you, man. That's good. And then he sees you, Garett. But yeah, keep going, Erizo. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say, oh, it's so good to see you, my friend. And I get down on one knee and I grab him by the shoulders and I ask him, I ask him, I trust your quest went well.
Oh yes, Erizo, I was looking for you. I did such a good job, and I'm sorry there's more work for you guys, but I finished my quest now and I've come back to you, and it feels really good. This gold light just shines around him as Big Willie levels up.
Look at you,
yeah, look at me.
Oh,
I feel 5 feet tall.
Maybe one day you can join our party.
Yeah,
Willie.
someday that'd be great. Well, hey, you guys should get to the tower though. It's been a great reunion. I'll have these gentlemen here loaded up. And you notice one of the guys is like a patron from the tavern, and he's just scowling at you. He's picking up all the stones that he loaded in last night before he clocked out. He's really pissing off the townsfolk of Goodhead as he's loading the wagon back up.
I do a jerk off motion at him and then do like a little spray.
Do you make a fart sound while you do it?
No. I do this like up down motion and then
Yeah.
like release and then like splash it on his face. But like I'm not actually gonna touch his face.
Okay.
You know?
Are you gonna make a fart sound when you do it? Because it's
No.
not. It's not a true pain. All right, that's fine. No, that's okay. I'm railroading. My bad.
But are you gonna do a fart sound?
So very good. Okay. So are you guys heading to the obelisk?
I'm still in the crate.
Oh yeah, and Big Willie was looking at you because your stealth roll was a 9. So he's like, he looked at you. So
you had a
when
lampshade on your head.
Yeah. And when he looked at you, he kind of like looked at you like, "Who the fuck are you?" And then Peyo was like, or Erizo was like, "Hey, how was your quest, buddy?" And then that thing had all happened. So,
I'm
hey,
just gonna like slowly, awkwardly crawl out and stand next to Erizo.
Oh, this is a new friend. Wait, are you with the party?
Yeah, we don't know who the fuck he is.
Yeah,
That's
he said
okay.
you helped us get away last night. What's your
He
name?
did save us. Yes, he did save us last night, and we do owe him some thanks. But so far, yes, I do believe we are becoming friends.
Well, if you saved my friend, he's a friend of me.
and he slaps your back. Well, I'm sorry, he doesn't slap your back. He slaps your calf.
Your calf.
All right, I just give him a little bow.
Well, I'm gonna be taking this shipment back to Oxton and making around Aurum. So I might be heading. Let's see here. Where was the next place I had? And he's like rifling through his papers. He goes, okay, yes, Oxton, and then oh yeah, I'm heading to Monksnomen in their Timberland. Big shipment of spices. I'm picking up in Oxton and carrying it to them to Monksnomen. It's my first time. It's my first time in Monksnomen. And that's I'm very excited. But maybe I'll see you guys again.
Hopefully.
Do you
they
need a
will.
guard?
Oh no, there's no guard.
And then he looks at you and he does like, this is not a thing that you can do, Getafix. This is strictly homebrew that only Big Willie can do. He smiles, and as he smiles, like really massive, like wild animal fangs like come down because he's a druid. So he's like half wild. He's like not half wild. He's like he's just showing that like he's still a strong man. Like he can wild shape into an owl bear. Well, now that he leveled up, he can wild shape into an owl bear.
Where has he seen an owl bear before?
In the fucking
Yeah, Logan, where is Willie seen an owl bear?
Dude, Big Willie is a rustic hero. He spent a lot of time in the woods. Good question.
I look back at him nonplussed and I say, "Good for you."
Yes, that's pretty good. All right, take care, dickheads. Get to the obelisk. We only have a couple more hours left of D&D. Get going.
All right, we are we go to the obelisk.
Okay. Do you guys have? Well, hold on. Before you introduce Benny Hill, do you guys have any? That's copyrighted shit. My stream's gonna get muted now. Do you guys have any? What are you guys talking about as you're walking over there?
So I'm gonna start a small conversation, just asking,
Yeah.
hey, so what actually happened in the labs? I can't remember because I was in a dream state for 50 years. You guys were all there and helped me. I
Yes.
woke up and you were in front of me. What happened?
Yes, we did. First off, a lot of naked bodies.
What?
Second, yeah.
That wasn't until way after.
That's the first thing he hears.
All right, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Sodomy.
I just stopped dead
Alright.
in my tracks with a wide-eyed look at him. What?
Am I sorry? I may still be drunk. Does somebody else want to take?
You're definitely hung, dude.
I pat Erizo on the back and I just laugh.
Hold my feathers.
Hold my
That's really good.
feathers.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm just sitting here staring. Does
I'll-
anyone have any memory of this at all?
Yes, yes, I do. I do have memory.
That's good. That's one step.
I'm trying to think back to when we because the labs was when we were on the mountain and we opened the door and went down it, right? That's what.
Yeah, that's when you entered Blue Jag's workshop, and then you met the stone dwarf, who you had to befriend before you were able to use the teleporter.
Right.
Which you befriended with an amazing joke, Getafix. I gotta say,
Right.
when you get the DM to literally like spit out wine while laughing, you don't have to roll for that. Like you just get that shit. Like that's just solid role play. And you guys teleported into the proverbial back door of
Which
this
was a room with the bed.
Yep, and the other side of the portal, it looked, and it looked like the wizard had been trying to access the other side of the portal, but there's no way this wizard with like massive dump stat charisma could ever befriend a stone dwarf like artifice door portal thing. So he couldn't get through. And so you guys came through in the middle of his bedroom in like it was probably like 10 a.m. on his work day. He just had his like after his morning his coffee break, you know, and he set back to work, and you guys then carried on through the lair. Yeah.
That's when I turned into a cat and
Yep, you turned
investigated
into
the
a
next
cat
room.
and ran into the next room, and before you guys could do any more investigating, Peyo Morazan saw the lab techs who were just getting out of their not cryo sleep, but goo. It was a photovoltaic vitality goo, and who were in like their incubation beds. Peyo saw the bondage of humans, rolled like a fucking nat 20 to rip them out of their bonds, and then just stormed in the next room, and then it was just an onslaught of violence and combat until the wizard's lab was shut the fuck down. And
we marked those two dwarves.
3.
And then... Oh yeah, were there 3?
There's 3 of them.
We went through them like
it seemed
butter,
like 2.
yeah.
You guys really cut through them in their cafeteria, and you made it into the wizard's lab. There were tubes and pipes carrying all these transmutation fluids from abyssal planes, and the wizard was inside of a glass, like a thick glass staging command center almost, you know, panel, control panel that Peyo Morazan teleported into in the first round of combat and hit him, breaking his concentration on the scorpion that he had. So like that was supposed to have been a fight against a giant scorpion, but it was a fight against the wizard who was panicking and like dumped his level 5 spells right away on Peyo.
He was like, "Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain."
It was just that's exactly who it's supposed to be, man. That was the inspiration. I just thought it was so cool how like Peyo got in this really bullheaded minotaur, like really impetuous sense, like seeing the slave. 2 things: when I write a campaign moving forward that Peyo is gonna be in, I am not gonna have room 3 have slaves in it because that's gonna aggro Peyo. And 2, I'm no longer putting fucking taverns in cities.
How about you're no longer just gonna pull up dudes that want to start fights with us in the middle of the street?
You guys, those two guys watched you murder their friend 2 days before that event. You guys had the audacity to show up at the bar, and they're like, "We got to confront them. We got everybody here," and they're like, "Hey, you killed our friend. We're here to get justice." And they threw a pint glass at Peyo, and Erizo right away was like, "Eat shit, dickhead," and stabbed him in the gut with a short sword. And
hey,
you know
I'm not denying that any of that happened.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we didn't get to learn anything because that started happening.
That was fucked. And but here's the other thing. When you guys got to the gates of Goodhead, the guard was like, oh, you could go to Dirk's Verkery. There's a party going on. And then it was like, if you don't have a place to stay, if you don't have a place to rest, you guys can stay at the guard post tonight, he said. But then I suggest you go to the hospital so you can talk to the survivors. And he's referring to you guys were damaged. You guys should go to the hospital. He said all of that. And then it was like, I go straight to Dirk's Verkery, and I was like, okay, there's one area that I was like, it's partying. You guys will not find a quiet place to sleep. And then it was like, we go right to the bar. I'm like, okay, there's like a lot of different places. There's a quieter spot where people are like, there's a bard that's telling a story that you guys can go to and maybe sit down. I was like, or there's a super rowdy spot. Dudes with hairy arms getting drunk, and it's very rowdy, and it's cramped, and they look hostile. Like, Kevin and Peyo's like, I go right into there and I get a drink. And two of the dudes he stands by are the motherfucking dudes that you killed, Nerva, while Peyo stood at your side holding his greatsword. So, like, it just kept compounding. Believe me, I did not want to do that either, but like I had no choice. It was so much fun. So let's just do this.
Just gonna pretend that was the whole
just
conversation.
Dump that. Yes, absolutely. Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Brian. Take it away, Garrett.
Yeah, so that's weird. I'd shown up there years ago to learn artificing, and we had initially started working on this blue frozen orb. It was supposed to be pretty expensive, pretty powerful. Turn the tides of war type thing. Did you guys happen to see it? Is it still there?
I think one of us may have an orb you
What?
speak of.
Is it in a case? Like how are you holding it?
Well, we saw some of the survivors holding on to it, and they were pretty dead.
But that was in the laboratory, right?
No, that was out here.
The
That was
orb,
up that mountain.
Oh, that's very interesting.
I'll
So,
look,
yeah, I don't really know what the protective field range is, but you might want to be very careful with that.
I want to ask. I want to look at Peyo and ask if he remembers who took the orb.
Yeah, Nerva's got it.
That's
Nerva. Which one is Nerva again?
She's the one that went off.
Great. So that thing needs to be contained.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably compliant. She was pretty scared of it when we first saw it.
That's warranted. So let me. I gotta build a case for this. We gotta put it in its case.
What do you need for a case?
You can take creative reign since you have a particular class. You can have free reign over this.
Thank you. I need some stones and some iron. Just some iron wire would be good.
Got it. Do we need to find that before we head to the tower, or should we?
We probably should find it ASAP. That's probably what we should do. Like first thing. Is there? Do you guys know of a store around here that we can get that from?
Dude, this town.
Do you have any in your pocket? Like, this is dire.
Stones. I think I got a couple stones here.
Not the happy face stone.
I think I had a couple stones here. Pantomime's up and down motion makes farty noise.
No, we are near water, so I think we could find a couple around here if it does not matter where they're from.
Some of the warehouse. Do you guys go back and get them real quick? I just need 4.
Yep.
Palm size.
I'll look around. I'll look around for the wire. Is there any businesses
so
open?
if you
or,
let's see here, I can ping it on the map quick. It's not that they're they're kind of like all the market keepers are opening up a little bit early for reasons that you guys never figured out. But there is a mining, kind of like a mining depot near the market. It's down here. Hold on a second. That's my marker. Do you guys see that ping, or is that just? Oh yeah, that's just the GM layer I got on. Okay, so it's kind of like over here. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, there's like a little mining depot there. You guys can walk over there. Oh, Erizo, what brings you back to the warehouse? And he's like mopping his brow because he's been helping the guys like move the stuff back in. What brings you back here?
I'm looking for a couple stones, and do you by any chance have any iron wire?
Iron wire? There should be some in this specialty.
And he is just like flipping through his fire. He's like,
Oh yeah, it's just a little bit. Let me see here.
and he just jumps and climbs up over a crate that's only like 3 feet high, and he digs into a box, and he grabs a spool that's like fairly large. It's kind of like the size of someone like a spool about the size of like a bunch of like vinyl records. Yeah, like a pumpkin with, but it's like circular. Yeah, and he's kind of and he plops up at the top. He goes, this is some the wire we have. I don't think it's necessarily on my priority manifest, if you'd like it.
Ooh, thank you, Big Willie.
Yeah.
Let me ask our new friend Garett, see, because it is he who is looking for this, and then any stones you may have lying around.
Sure, take your pick from the back of the warehouse. Those aren't set to leave yet. They have not been ordered.
All right, thank you so much, my friend. I grab the wire. I don't grab the wire, but I grab a couple of stones and I walk back and I.
If you need something to carry, there's a little wagon over there.
And there's kind of like a little radio flyer wagon thing that's sitting by it too, that he said you guys can take, that you can borrow, so to speak.
Borrow.
Not sponsored by Radio Flyer.
Shout out to our unofficial sponsor, Radio Flyer, the little red wagon of your childhood, now brought to the feature 2021, 2022, the future of Radio Flyer.
I picture Erizo as Joe Dirt with a meteoroid in the wagon. Comes back to the party like,
That's a big pile of poop. That's a big pile of poopy.
we call them Boeing bombs.
Yeah.
Rolling back to the group.
You got everything.
Yep, pretty much right there and then. Looks like we don't gotta go anywhere, boys.
Well, we should find Nerva. I need to get started on this immediately. This is just recognized as just a short-term protective measure. Is there still the Mages Guild in Oxton? Does that still exist?
Mages Guild.
None of you would really know. Nerva would know more. Nerva would know that.
Okay, we need to find Nerva ASAP.
Well, we did tell her we were gonna wait for her here, so I imagine if we start heading in that direction, we may run into her as she's heading this way.
And so, cutscene there, you guys are walking towards the obelisk, and while that was going on, kind of like rewind time, blur ahead. That horse, the guy on the horse.
Horse, of course.
A horse, of course. Trots on up, and he goes, "Hey, you know, when I was sent here to Goodhead to look for you guys, I didn't think it'd be as easy as getting off that big old blimp and getting on this horse. I gotta say, I'm here to bring you in. Do you go quietly."
They're gonna read us our rights.
Read you your rights. I don't even know what a right is. Couldn't even tell you a left either. I got orders to seek you out and grant you your asylum. I think that, judging by what some of the people have murmured, helping us gather us, you guys probably want to get to the blimp as fast as possible. So, Lieutenant Moore is requesting your immediate attention if you would follow me. And he looks back.
Can we get a ride?
Well, you say that. Can we get a ride? As he like looks back and realizes he hasn't even trotted more than a fucking city block. And he actually like dismounts and he goes, "Why, sure, my lady, it'd be my pleasure." And he holds his hands out to let you get up on his horse.
Oh, gentleman.
And he puts you up on the horse. And he doesn't even acknowledge you at all, Eliard. And he has the horse by the reins, and he's like trotting you, Nerva, like to the obelisk. Yeah, and he's just like figuring that Eliard will take care and like start walking.
Look behind me like at Eliard and I like wave at him.
Yep. And Eliard, being the himbo of the group, is just like total. It's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm just standing there, like, waiting for her to realize that I'm not coming with ever.
Oh, you're not going with?
I mean, I thought we were going with the group. Like, I thought that was the plan, was to meet up with the group, right?
And and he turns around and he goes, "Well, aren't you coming, fighter man? Pretty important conversation that you guys have to have with Lieutenant Moore."
I'm just gonna kind of call to him honestly, I think they're gonna get summoned as well. I think it's safe.
So where's the rest of your party?
I have a feeling we're gonna meet up with them soon.
And then as you send that message into his head, the soldier looks up and he goes, "So where's the rest of the party? Make this hunting for me a little bit easier."
I say, I think those bastards left us a long time ago.
Yeah.
Your apologies, only talking to the two of us.
Yeah. Well, no sense in worrying about that just yet. Let's get you guys in.
I rub my mustache and just kind of shake my head and slowly start walking behind them. And
okay.
I say to myself, I've taken bigger shits than you.
You say that to yourself? Yeah, kind of like yeah. You're like looking at that soldier. You see his insignia. So there was a brief time that you fought for the Empire, and you had a much higher rank than him. Like you looked at his rank and you realize like the only reason why he's on the horse and he's not in charge of like unloading and loading and he's in charge of like finding people is likely due to two reasons. You don't know this yet.
Budget cuts.
Yeah. Actually, why don't you make a let's see here. Go ahead, make me an insight check. And you can do it with advantage since you have a military background, so you can do it twice. So roll a d20 and then -1.
Okay. 11.
But you can roll it twice because you have advantage. You can take the highest.
Oh, yeah, 11.
It was 11? Okay, cool. So yeah, you can tell it's like two reasons why he has the position. He has either money. His family had a lot of money to like buy him all this authority, the armor, the everything, the seat, the like this airship, this toll ship, as Big Willie called it, but you don't know that yet. Is either money or it's heritage. His family has had a long-standing presence in the military. You don't know which one it is yet, but you can definitely tell that he has
He's not.
He's got seasoned. He's far from seasoned. He's green. He's greener than the Aurora. And he walks you guys over and he goes, "Please make camp here. It's going to be a little bit easier for you to wait while I seek out the rest of your party. Here is the fire we have for you. Go ahead and make yourself comfortable. I can't say that we have any food yet. We might not have any food. That's not really my thing, but I did half my job. I'm gonna I'm gonna head out and grab the rest of your party for you, madam. May I?" And he puts his hand out up to you while you're on the horse to like to bring you down.
Sure, yeah, I take it. And
Yes.
dismount.
And I'm going to go off and find the rest of your party. You mentioned they might be leaving. Do you know which door they might have left?
No idea. They left in quite a hurry.
Huh. So you're not narking. Good. Take inspiration if you don't have it. Nerva's not a narc.
I don't know.
You were in the warehouse with them on the fucking, western exit. So you're just like, no, I have no idea. It's too good.
I don't know.
Well, I'll head out this way. And he mounts back up on his horse and he goes, gentlemen, pour them some of our finest, whatever people drink. He's just totally disassociated with like normal people.
Hate this guy.
Oh yeah, he's like a good guy but a bad guy. You know what I mean? He's Gaston.
How close is his horse to like the fire?
Right by the fire, because that's where he dropped off. That's where he dropped off Nerva. It was right by the fire.
I want to I don't want to set his horse on fire, but I kind of want to send a little crackle of flame onto the horse's rump.
Okay, using your using your control flame cantrip.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So the horse as he's trying to ride off, and I'm just gonna make a Constitution check to actually, let's see here, getting bucked off a horse. Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for tuning into Lognaronk's Twitch channel. If you've been enjoying the show, feel free to follow and subscribe. If you don't want to follow, if you're not liking it, hit that follow button twice. And if you're sitting here lurking in the background, what do you think? Post in the comments. What do you think the saving throw would be to resist getting bucked off a horse? I'm just going to make a dexterity save quick.
Oh my god.
Okay, yeah, he failed that shit. He's wearing heavy armor. He had a -1, and yeah, as it rears back, he slides off the back of the horse, and he slides off, and he doesn't fall off. He didn't fail miserably. He just slides kind of off the saddle, and it's kind of whoa, and he mounts back up, and he just looks shaken. He's like, oh, carry on, and trots off. And for the rest of the party, you guys see, as you're walking, and that whole time that Getafix was expo dumping onto Garett, and you guys were collecting those resources that took a little bit of a time, you get to, let's see here, I'm going to ping it right here. You guys get to this little this little park area that's got some softwood trees, right where the Getafix and everybody's at. You guys get to these softwood trees, and while you're standing at the softwood trees, you see a guy on a horse in magnificent armor, and as he's trotting right by you guys, he's not even looking at you. He's tightening the straps on his armor. You can tell that he's an Empire soldier. And he's tightening the straps on his armor, and he's trying to, when someone's trying to adjust their collar, and they're trying to when you see someone at a bus stop and they're looking in the reflection of a restaurant trying to fix their hair, you kind of see him trotting on his horse, and just really trying to fix himself up because he's he's wallowing in some kind of embarrassment, and he just trots right past you guys.
I nudge Getafix, and
You were a much better camel than that horse.
no,
You can ride me anytime you like.
I put my thumb backwards towards the horseman, waving backwards towards it, and I go, "Look at that wanker."
Nice.
I'll wink at him and say, "A true wanker indeed."
True wanker indeed. And everybody's smiling, and you guys, and wait, who's pulling the wagon? The little radio flyer, the little red wagon.
Oh, that was Erizo, no?
Yeah.
That's me.
Okay, cool.
He's skipping along with it.
But he already walks with a peg leg bird walk. He's also pulling the wagon. I love it. Well, you guys get to the obelisk. and that's where you see Nerva and Eliard standing by a fire.
Nerva is picking her fingernails.
I slap Peyo on the back and point at Nerva and Eliard.
Oh, hey, it's them.
Nerva was pretending to look cool and picking her fingernails and just kind of turning her nose at everyone. But as soon as she sees them, she's like, "Oh my god, you're alive!" I was so scared.
And we will walk over and I'll ask, what is going on?
I think we're under arrest or something. Did you see
Do
a
we
really
wanna be under
fancy
arrest?
looking idiot guy on a horse walk past?
The wanker!
Yeah. He said he's looking for you. You're already
Oh.
here.
Well, he looked like he was quite embarrassed and wanted to keep riding.
Yeah. Do we want to be arrested? I don't want to be arrested. Let's dip. That guy's an idiot. He's a wanker. Why am I going to listen to him?
So you guys happy in your reunion and standing by a small fire that was made on the outskirts of the obelisk. To your northern attention, there is a large canopy, like a large tent that was set up. There's kind of like a tent camp getting set up, and by now there's a pretty long line of merchants, people that you would guess were business people. You actually see Cirque, the young dwarf woman from Dirk's Furkery. She's also in line with a pouch. She's got a very large pouch, and they're all in line, and they're handing these pouches to a couple of gentlemen that are sitting at a table with a ledger, taking notes. At this point, you could guess that they're all paying tax, some kind of tax. And the pouches are just being tossed over their head and thrown into a chest. As a chest gets full, it's just being picked up and taken to up the obelisk and into the airship. And a soldier with bright rosy cheeks in the cold and a fluffy red jacket, big puffy poofy, picture like the British. If you guys know that British red, this is actually a pretty cool story. Sorry for the tangent. The British redcoats, I can't remember, the scarlet grain or something. There is a specific type of bug that flies around cactus and succulents in multiple parts of the world, and it takes hundreds of thousands and pounds of those bugs to produce.
Starts with a C, right?
What's that?
Called something with a C. It's
yeah.
I know what it is.
It's
but
canary red, I think, or I can't remember. But yeah, it's this bug, and they take all these dead bugs, and that's what they use to make that red dye, and it's called scarlet grain or something grain. See, I think you're right with the C though, and it's that.
It's called Coach something or
red, yeah, and they call it a grain because all the dead bugs, it looks like a sack of rice, like cooked rice when it's done, but that's what produces that red color. It's just a bunch of dead insects. So when you look at history and you think of redcoats, you have to think of billions and billions of dead bugs being boiled to make all those coats, which I think is hilarious and definitely not royal at all. What is that?
Well, and I'm looking up the pronunciation.
Oh, okay.
Cochineal.
Cochineal.
Yeah, cochineal.
Yeah, it is cock. It's cock something red. It's like cochineal red.
Cock.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some fucking cock shit going on, and
I
think that cock shit happened because of the rooster, the cock rooster. It matched that same panache that a rooster has, and that's kind of what the army is doing is we're here, we're red, we're here to fucking invade you. So they're collecting tax, and then but a young man with pudgy cheeks, and clearly the soldier life is not meant for him, and he'll probably die once he gets moved to a front line. But You have to have sympathy for the little bastard, but he comes up to you and he's like, well, Lieutenant Moore will see you now if you guys follow me. And he turns almost like on a dime on his like soldier heel, and he starts walking towards the large canopy that's underneath the obelisk. I imagine you all follow.
No.
I mean, are we surrounded by guards? I don't feel like we have much of a choice. There's all kinds of people.
And for those of you that were, so Peyo doesn't know Lieutenant Moore, Garett doesn't know Lieutenant Moore, but the rest of you remember Lieutenant Moore. She's the one that gave you your first quest to go clear out the bandit camp. She was Lieutenant Brahms, the man who was executed in the tavern. She's his replacement, if you don't remember. She gave you your first quest, and that's who Big Willie reported to. She said, clear out that bandit lair, and I will give you a seat at the next Moon Festival banquet.
I suggest to the team, how about we follow some rules for once? We haven't been following a lot of rules, and it's been getting us in a lot of trouble.
Nice.
We can always break them later.
I say.
And I kind of wink to the group.
Nice.
I'll be in the back, and I'll say, yep, and I'll put my arms out real wide and kind of push everyone forward.
Okay.
Nice. I like that corralling. Good teamwork. But Peyo, you did mention you don't go. I'm not gonna force you to go if your character doesn't go. You can sit by the fire if you want.
He doesn't trust him.
Okay. So you stay at the little fire?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And Garett, you didn't meet Lieutenant Moore yet. Do you go with the group?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you guys all move over to the large canopy tent that's under the obelisk, and the young polished soldier is like, you can see him on the outskirts of like the courtyard. He's like trotting around. He hasn't even really scoured that far in the city. Maybe he was afraid to go too far. You can just hear his like horse trotting. He's out in the distance, and your attention goes back to the young man who had the rosy red cheeks in his coat, and he says, Private Borserd reporting with the high-valued targets you requested. They're at your attention, Lieutenant Moore. And he salutes. And the long, slender, dark-skinned woman in light armor, accompanied by a handful of blades hanging off of her, is truly living up to her ego as the desert spider of Draken. As she slowly turns around, thank you, Private. And she slowly nods to him, dismissing his salute. But it is Captain Moore now. New orders came through, and I'm afraid our friend and former Captain Rusfer has fallen at the Draken Bridge. You may be dismissed. And the private, without saying a word, just spins on his heel and leaves. And she walks over. Between you guys, there's like a large commanding table. Just a large table. It's got some like different pitchers with liquids in it. A little bit of fresh fruit. A couple just like pieces of paper that the tax collectors they're not coming in the canopy anymore, but that's like what they were originally staging with. And she leans over it. So we meet again. And her smile is venomous. Our mutual friend, Big Willie, told me I could find you here. And she's smiling at you guys.
Well, he was right. What's going on?
He is a good man. I wish I had time to meet Big Willie more. He seems to be a favorite. I thank you for clearing the bandits from our Dandarum passage. It certainly saved me a lot of time hunting. She looks over at you, Erizo. You seem like a fine hunter, and maybe someday we will have a hunt of our own, and we will bring in big bounties. But as promised, you've all been granted a seat with honors
at our next Oxtin Moon Festival. You've proven to be quite a great team. She's like nodding and looking at you guys.
Does she look different than the last time we saw her?
She looks the exact same. She's always been menacing, and I think it was you, Nerva, who rolled the nat 20 on the history check.
It could have been me.
I think it
Yeah,
was.
I think it was Nerva.
I think it was Nerva who rolled the net. So that's how you learned that she was the desert spider of Draken. Oh, and that explains, because Nerva, your backstory, we talked about a handful of things. The Draken Plateau is like constantly shifting of ownership between Orc, like evil army, and like the Empire. And Lieutenant Moore, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Captain Moore. Yeah, sorry, she's scolding me. Captain Moore, she was an orphan on that plateau, and she joined the Empire as like a vendetta against the Orcs, and she's like risen through the ranks. Like, she's a fucking crass bitch, and she's very venomous, and she's called the Desert Spider of Draken because she's really long and slender, and she moves like a spider and just like rips through people. But just like our deer fighter Peyo, just because they're a little rough doesn't mean they're like evil. So that's kind of like what you can still recall from that history check you made a long time ago. She hasn't changed. She's still the same Venom. Even though that she's got a promotion, like, you can tell it hasn't even gone to her head. Like, she just corrected him for like formality's sake. Okay. So, and then she just said, "You've proven to be a great team." And she's like smiling at you guys. Do you interact at all, or do you want me to keep doing the dialogue? You guys are more than welcome to, like, anybody can chime in at any time. Anybody that's there is like standing around the table with her.
I mentioned, I just give her, I look at her and with her creepy smile, and I say,
not
thank
creepy,
you for...
not creepy, venomous.
Venomous, sorry. Her venomous smile,
which I think is sexy.
Dang.
We need somebody to create some artwork and provide a rendering.
I got too. I do maps. That's it.
Don't lie.
I respond by saying, thank you for sticking to what you had said, and for I guess letting us help you. There you go. Nice token.
It's stolen. It's stolen artwork, but that's her.
I remember she eyed me from toe to feet to top, up and down, and I do the same thing to her after saying that, and I say, hopefully we get to hang out some more.
Yes. Well, hopefully. And she smiles and she looks over at the academic district. As you guys are like in the academic district, she goes, "Yes, hopefully." The university tells me, though, you've been up to some snooping around the mountains. And you know that lawlessness cannot go unpunished.
I'm just gonna kind of snap to. I want to investigate the map that's there. So while they're having their interaction, I'm just kind of
cool. Yeah, make an investigation check.
Oh, that's a nat 1.
Ooh.
Fuck.
So you look at the map, and because it's upside down and backwards, you have no fucking idea. It's like, yeah, like try and like read something upside down and backwards. You're like, yeah, fuck it. There's no way I could figure that out.
Pump the table and knock all the minifigs
so
over.
you look down at the map, and it's not even a map of this area. Like, it's a completely foreign map. It's a map that it's not of this region.
And I just put those dice in prison, so
yeah. And I powder those dice up and snort them. And so yeah, she had just said that that lawlessness cannot go unpunished.
So I'll just look up at her kind of slowly and just say, what lawlessness has happened here? These gentlemen saved me.
Well, I was just fucking with them, dumbass. But there was a sign from the dark wizard Granium who said, "Do not go in this mountain." Your disobedience ended up saving, and she's looking right at you, Garett. Your disobedience of going into the mountain had ended up saving a small handful of people and defeating Granium. That will be your get out of jail free card. But you're new to the party. When did you join them to defeat Granium?
I don't really remember. I was kind of already there. I guess I woke up and they were in front of me, and I was in front of a forge.
I'll just say that he was a prisoner of Granium.
Oh, shit.
Ah, a survivor. Why did you not go to the hospital?
I was hungry. I wanted to get something hot. It was a long trip back. It's cold as shit. Imagine not sleeping for 50 years. You're a little hungry.
Yeah.
So I got some soup, got a little bit of bread, some dark ale, and then I see these guys who I recognized, basically murdering 2 people. So I figured
that's
they
right,
saved
you
me.
were-
I saved them.
Oh, and for the rest of the adventuring party, that whole fucking tavern scene when you guys were just like fucking tits up to the whole thing I wrote.
I was sitting in the background.
Brian was texting me. He's like, "Okay." As soon as you guys got to the tavern, he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna be eating soup at a table." And then it became, and then it became like, "Logan, this is really fucked. When do I get to come in?" And then it was just like, and then it was like me in all caps, like, "Brian, please help the party, please help the party." But that whole time he was at the tavern eating soup, and that's where he casted.
Oh my god.
He messaged me and said that he casted minor illusion, a fire on the roof as a distraction. And
Yeah, I
that's
just
where,
wanted to put that shit out.
and then right away,
That's why it wouldn't go out. It was an illusion.
and then right away, Getafix was like, "Tidal wave on the roof." I was like, "Oh god damn it!" Now you guys are gonna get property damage for getting it wet. Yeah, really good shit. Okay, yeah. So I just want some shit. Okay.
They saved me. I saved them. You know, it just. Yeah. And here I am. So I've got some business to attend to. Nerva? Anyone?
He's
Yes,
with us now.
Yeah, he's our friend.
Where is Nerva? Which one of you? So I've heard you have the frozen orb.
Are we still in front?
Oh yeah, you guys are so right in front of her, and
people?
her eyes are just dancing around, like she was looking at Garett, and then he's like, "Anyone? Anybody? Nerva, you said you had the orb," and her eyes kind of like pick up too. So she's like, "Oh, this is all very fascinating to me." And
I'll stick my arm out and kind of push Nerva towards Garett, and then like step in front towards Lieutenant Moore, and say, "I trust you'll have a spot at the table for our new friend Garett as well."
My beautiful man. And she's looking at you, Getafix.
I'll kind of wink too.
I will let you open the seat for your man if you do me a favor and keep an eye on your man. I don't trust new people, and I'm not sure I trust all of you yet. So to trust one more is one more untrusted, and pretty soon I will be a mother duck with plenty of gray ducks running about. But as they say in times of war, as the dove sleeps, the falcon takes flight.
And I say to her, "You talk too fucking much."
And then she like very, very slowly turns her head to you. Like picture like comically slow. Like
And she looks at you and she goes, "And what makes you want to talk, my fiery young man? I remember you from the tavern. I admire you. But maybe we should just get to business. And you don't celebrate yet."
I will. Please. Am I close enough to touch Lieutenant Moore?
You could reach across the table. You got long arms. You're like 8 feet
Okay.
tall.
I just reach across the table and
Touch your
put
face.
my
Like, no,
hand.
shh, no, look at me.
I put my hand on her shoulder, and
Yeah.
I say, please ignore my friend. We need to rest.
You all look very tired, I am sure. But as I was saying, you have a get out of jail free card for what you did to Granium. But you should not celebrate because I have much worse. And she's actually looking a little concerned now. Like her demeanor's changed to a little bit more grave. I have much worse news than prison. There is no doubt. Evil sorcerer Sephiran knows your party thwarted Granium and stopped him from printing more of his Durgar to join his army. He will be looking for you. And that makes you a friend to the Empire. Conscription is well known amongst us. As she looks across to the young private, Private Borsherd, who walked you guys in there, and you can tell that he was drafted. The young man with rosy cheeks that is gonna die as soon as he actually has to fight. Conscription happens all the time, but don't worry, you won't be forced to join our ranks. Your encounter with Granium has given you a piece of privilege. But I do request that you report to me anything that can help us turn the tide of battle against our sorcerer Sephiran. And should you need something from me, and you leaned across and you had your arm on her shoulder, right? And should you need something from me, she puts her hand, slides it up your tricep, under your arm, slides up your tricep, and she looks at you in the eyes now. Getafix, the big fur bog. Even if your back is 10 feet high, I'll scratch yours if you scratch mine. And then she slides back from you, kind of dismissing your embrace, and then now engaging the entire party with this question, as she's now marked you guys as a big bounty target. The sorcerer itself, you could tell from intonation of her getting down tones, changing her demeanor. The sorcerer is after you guys, and she's just kind of saying don't worry, you don't have to join our ranks, just fight with me personally. She's asking you to trust her. And she'll kind of protect you if you kind of help protect their efforts. And she looks at you, to the whole party, minus Peyo, who's sitting by the fire.
No, I went to go get a drink.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Yeah, so Peyo's off getting a drink. So Peyo walks, so Peyo's not found anywhere by the campment anymore. And she says, "Do we share a mutual understanding? And will you join my command in our fight against Sephiran?"
Excuse me, who are you again?
My name's Captain Moore. I have been fighting for the Empire my whole life to defeat the evil sorcerer.
And everybody at the party, because the evil sorcerer has been tormenting Aurum for 200 some years, you guys...
We know who that
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
You have my quarterstaff.
I
That jerk.
absolutely have an interest in fighting against an evil sorcerer.
How
I'm
do we
sorry.
contact you?
Hold on a second. The mic cut out for that, Nerva. What did you say?
Oh, just that I would be on the side against an evil sorcerer. He's evil, right?
Oh yeah, very like since
Like he was printing Duragar and probably still has
since
a ton.
the like there's always been this minor war between orcs. But not all orcs have engaged in the warfare. If you read the Aurum background, there's a couple faults that have opened up in the earth, and like orcs have poured out of them. Both times were very violent and terrifying and evil. But there are other orcs who have like settled in distant areas. Like during the human faction era, there was a lot of like commingling between orcs, and it led to half orcs. So there's that. But right now, from the barren volcano in the center of Aurum, there is what's known as the land bridge at Draken, and there's just constantly war going on because the Empire is trying to get into the volcano to defeat this evil sorcerer who's been around for about 200 years. Or I'm sorry, he's been around for a lot longer. They don't know. It's just about 200 years ago, this evil sorcerer made his presence known because at the Draken Bridge, a huge lightning storm. This is all backstory, and this is good. You guys will all know this as characters. There was a huge lightning storm, and it like decimated the front line at the Draken Bridge and really moved it back quite a bit. And the sorcerer made himself known in like a big grandiose, if you ever saw like Halloween Town, that big like he's like up in the sky and it's all like evil, like he did a whole grandiose thing like that. And since then he has been sending like evil to torment. In fact, when Captain Moore gave you guys the mission to go to the Dark Frost, you guys also had a second mission that you don't remember. Terrence, the drug dealer guy from Pennigan, and also the waitress, who is Terrence's sister, they said that there was an evil that kept bumping in the night in Penguin. Evil like moaning, and like people were disappearing in the Penguin thicket, that was growing. And he asked you if you, and he gave you Erizo his house keys. And he said, you can stay there while you're there. Do you remember that?
I do.
He
And
gave
I
you his
always
house
thought
key.
we'd go back.
And he's like, yeah, and guess what? You guys chose this quest, which means that which went bump in the night in the Penguin thicket has been growing. That's the consequence. You had a path to choose, and you guys went this way.
Let's go.
And you guys actually ended up stopping. So it was like one of the things: the Penguin thicket was going to keep growing evil, or the wizard was going to keep printing Durgar. And you guys stopped the army from growing. So like that's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's all plus and minus. Anywho, I heard from you have my quarterstaff, and Nerva said if you're fighting evil, like I'm obviously going to be on the side against evil, because you're still probably disbelieving that you're of any value because you're this nervous little archaeology student. And you're like, I mean, like I'm trying to make my name. I'm trying to like grow in archaeology. You've made a huge breakthrough with what you have in your purse right now. And you're just like, okay, but yeah, if we're fighting evil, sure. So that leaves Erizo.
Right, I feel like I am thinking to myself that it will lead to a lot of further like studies for my school or whatever.
Because you have no idea. You guys still have to go to the Moon Festival at Oxton. Like, there's still so much like prestige to come, and resources that come from that prestige. Erizo, we're waiting to hear from you. She looks over at you.
I look at her eye to eye, and I say, I shall help you on your efforts to take down this evil wizard, Sephiron?
Sephiron.
And do you, by any chance, have anybody where you reside in that may help me become better to support you by getting a fill-in for this? And I point at the circlet.
If you're talking of magic, I am of no use to you. I am not a magic dealer. But I tell you this, young hunter. If you follow in my command or choose your own path. That's up to you. But if you fight with me, you don't have to fight for me. If you fight with me, you will have many opportunities to achieve what you need.
I give her my hand in terms to like make that seal of a deal and say, and I wait for a response.
And she puts her hand out and she takes your hand the way a man would take a woman's hand, and she kisses your hand, just kind of being like, yeah, okay, cool. And she just like flips gender roles on you 100%. And she just takes your hand and kisses it like a man would kiss a woman's hand.
I get chills, and from my head to bottom on my feathers, get that wave of like
Right.
going through the feathers.
Hell yeah.
And I say, ooh, yeah. And I say, you have my full hard on support.
Oh, you dirty bastard. I'm trying to flip gender roles here, and you're just like, I'm hard as fuck. Hell yeah, that's what it should be. Cheers to that, guys.
He's
What
bricked
does
up.
a bird erection look like? Sorry, continue.
A bird
It's a-
erection.
It's like a squirrely, right? Like
I don't know. I have
It's like
no
a
idea.
corkscrew.
Ducks have like a.
Hey,
a
what's up, guys?
corkscrew.
You're
Like a-
listening to Lognarok's D&D channel. If you're just stopping by for the first time, don't forget to hit that follow button. If you don't like what you're hearing, hit that follow button twice. And if you know what a bird's erection look like, throw in the comment. Throw us a link if you know any ideas of what a bird erection looks like.
I just googled it.
Oh! Post it in the Discord.
Send it to the group chat.
Yeah, definitely post it in the Discord. Let's see here.
And paste.
I hear that
Working?
clicking.
Didn't want me to. Hold on.
And paste.
And paste. Nice. Yeah, post it in there, man. Let's see here. I'm just trying to.
Wait, what were you saying?
1 second. I'm trying to find my Twitch channel here so I can post my Discord invite thing.
Oh, right. Good idea.
Yeah, so like people
You guys
can
got it.
join in on the D&D Discord.
I'm gonna take a quick restroom.
Yeah, let's all just take a quick 5 minutes.
I was gonna ask about that.
Do you guys want to come back at 9:10?
Can we do like closer to 10 minutes?
We can do 9:15. Let's do 9. Yep, all it takes is one person. Let's do 9:15.
9:15
Perfect.
it is.
Yep. All right, peace. We'll see you guys back here at 9:15.
Yep.
Oh man, this is like one of the most fun D&D sessions I've had. Just a great group, wholesome all around. I'm trying to find how the piss to interact with my own chat on my own Twitch channel, and I can't for the life of me figure out how this works. I gotta get better at having mods around to like post these things, because I'm a fucking lost bag when it comes to technology. And I'm trying to throw my thing here in the chat. If you guys are in the chat, and if I ever find it, go ahead, throw me a shout out. Tell me how the fuck I comment in my own chat. And when you do, I'll post my Discord link, because you guys all deserve it. But I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. Quick 5-minute brekkie. I'm going to be playing Culla music. CULLAH.com. Culla.com. Produces a new album every year on April 27th. Next album for 2022 is called Firebird. And you guys can actually come to Culla.com and support the album. If you support the album, you can earn not only a vinyl, a CD, but at associate producer levels, you can actually get your name on the record, on the printage. You can become an associate producer of this music. And I strongly recommend everybody gets behind it, because Culla is not only an artist, he's an artist. He's an artist, musician. He's not only an artist, he's an artist. He's not only an artist, he's also an artist of music. But he's breaking big grounds, I think, all the time. Every album is a different genre. Every album is like this breath of funk folk fusion, and I can't get enough of it. Sometimes it's one of those things where I listen to a lot of different music. If I don't know what I'm going to listen to, I just like pick one of the many color albums that are out there, ranging from 2014 even further back. I just grab one and I play a song. So this next song is from his Spectacular album, which came out in 2019. I thought this was a great album, and I want to play this song to everybody because it's a good reminder in the winter to be kind. You should always be kind to yourself. It can get cold, it can get dark, but you should always, always remember that as dark as it gets, as cold as it gets, no matter where you are in life or how difficult it can be, you'll always be there with yourself. The one person you will always have with you forever is yourself. And you should be kind. You should be kind to yourself. I Want You to Be Kind to Yourself from the Spectacular album, 2019, color.com.
I want you to be kind to yourself. I want you to be kind to yourself. Don't hold it all in your chest. Please give yourself time to rest. Don't hold it all in your chest. Please give yourself time to rest. I want you to. I want you to. I want you to be kind to yourself. Love, it gotta be so far. Love, it gotta be so long. Why you gotta be where you gotta be?
what's up, guys? It's me, Lognarok, aka Lognar, aka that other mother's brother's kid who likes to be a dungeon master and run games. We're gonna be just another minute here. We're almost at that 9:15 p.m. Central marker. One more song here we might get partway through. It's called Conduct. It was actually my favorite Cullah song. It was not just Cullah song, favorite song in general for 2019. I'm just gonna cycle through some of the stolen artwork that we've used for character tokens and just enjoy the song for the next minute. You can figure out who's who by the pictures, I'm sure.
Doesn't have to be such a lonely fight. It shouldn't be so hard to tell wrong from right. Wrong from right. It doesn't have to be such a lonely fight. It shouldn't be so hard to tell wrong from right.
This is where the song gets spicy, and I encourage all of you to stand up, give it a little shake and shake, because you can tell the wrong from right. Fuck the evil sorcerer Sephiroth. Hey, what's up, guys? We're getting back to the game. Is everybody ready?
Yep.
Cool. Come on, a little closer, piece of sky. Come on.
Stay a while.
Come on, stay a while. Stay a while and listen. I have a Deckardad Kane voice totally picked out when you meet him. It's not going to be Kane, but you know it. Stay a while and listen. That's too good.
These images of bird genitals in the Discord is
Pretty powerful stuff.
Image of genitals in the Discord? I haven't even checked. Oh my god! What is going on?
No,
I got a
it's
PP.
even more wild than that. Like, it's
Those
insane.
are fucking nuts, man.
Literally.
No, and like the females, they can change the way, like they can create a maze for it, and then they can make it kind of easy. Cause
So-
like,
That's
Like-
awesome.
yeah, so ducks, like drake ducks, are like, oh man, like they're rapists, and so like
What?
that's
Yeah,
a strategy of like selective breeding. That
is
So they're
they
like
can be
the
like,
dungeon
nope.
masters.
yeah, no, it's insane. It's fascinating. It's disturbing.
A bird vagina is a dungeon master.
Yeah.
okay. First T-shirts for the
Yeah,
First t-shirts.
First t-shirts for the
A
campaign
bird
says
vagina is like a dungeon master.
it says bird vagina : I'm gonna be a DM this session, and then it's gonna say crooked bird dick : fuck you ain't. Outrageous. Okay, so this is the Earth. Round.
dang.
Okay, so everybody that was in the original party minus Peyo, who has left the tavern or has left the fire, who is running on little sleep, is going off somewhere
On a bender.
on a mad bender because it's like sunrise and all the merchants are gone. So
He's got like that second wind.
the proverbial and
God.
literal feature second wind, but I think you used that already, so
I
you actually
did.
don't have second wind. Nice try. DM says
Oh,
you
no,
don't have a
no.
second wind, but you have the
took a short
proverbial.
rest.
You have.
I took a short rest.
Does that bring back second wind?
Yes, it does.
Fuck yeah, boy. Okay, you got second wind. All right, you got second wind. So, wait, hold on. Do you use second wind right now to go to the tavern?
No, I wouldn't. No, my plan is like to go to a tavern and then just pass out there, like because I can't. I'm exhausted.
Okay. Yeah. And you're like, fuck this bitch. And you just like walk over to, you start prowling around the streets of Goodhead. I want to ask you this question. Looking at the pickle map, do you walk on the, and let's say the compass is conventional, do you walk on the northern side or the southern side of the pickle?
Walk. I kind of wander because like nothing's making sense right now, so I kind of wander.
You might not. Peyo might not know which way he wandered, but for reference on the map, which way?
I went around.
I can roll for you. Okay.
Wait, you don't.
No, you're good. No,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Okay, cool.
All right, cool. I saw where your ping went up, and that is in consideration. So now the Captain Moore. No, I got you, babe. It's Captain now. I know. So Captain Moore is looking down at you guys. Not down. I'm sorry. Down. She's very tall. She's looking down at you guys eye to eye with Getafix. Not eye to eye. That'd be way too tall. She's looking up at you, Getafix, looking down at you guys. And she looks over at you, Garett. And she says, you have a rare opportunity to join a very sharp party. Are you, for verbal consent, joining us in our fight against Sephiron?
Sure, why not?
And she just casts her eyes back over you guys as she, like, you can tell in her face, she's like exuberated that that the war might turn. Like, she's been fighting this war her whole fucking life, man. And she has been like, not that she's been waiting for this moment, but like, it just feels like she's ready to pop a bottle of champagne. Like, she's like, finally, we've got a small team together that can do some damage. And she looks at you all. Very good, my adventuring party. You know, you are not just the adventuring party anymore. To the Empire, to the people living in Aurum, who are constantly attacked by this sorcerer, to those living and making their life here, you are an edge to a powerful blade. In fact, none of you, now that I see, you guys have leveled up twice since you last saw her. In fact, none of you look like the same lame puppies I met back at the Auckland Tavern. You look sharper, stronger. And she looks at you, Eliard, who you kind of like, you talk a lot. She's like talking a lot. And she looks right at you, and she looks at you right in your eyes. There is more fire in you, all of you, than when we first met. Your burning purpose to defeat evil, perhaps. And with her smile on her face, she bends down and she opens up a small trunk that's by her knees. And she says as she's bending over, "We will take our airship back to Oxton tonight." To celebrate, she pulls out these, produces these like small military grade patches from her trunk. And she starts handing one to each of you. The color of the patch matches the color of the Empire, and it has an insignia of a large reptile on it. And she's smiling at all of you as you're looking down at these patches. And she says, "Sephiran, beware. So it appears my red dragon has been born." And that's the end of episode 1.
Whoa.
Well, we couldn't have done it without our boy Big Willie.
True.
And Big Willie somewhere is in a wagon, G-upping his
Smiling.
Clydesdale, just smiling. And as the camera on episode, we're still going to keep going for tonight, but episode 1 is over now. And how it ends is you guys realize that the show, The Birth of the Red Dragon, you guys are the Red Dragon. That's like the fucking awesome, like, whoa, we have a purpose. And as the camera then starts panning out, it pans out on a little gnome who's like laughing. He's just got his first quest done. He's got a little cup of ale sitting by him. He's slapping his like Clydesdale as he's cheersing, and the camera's like panning over and panning out, and he's got a patch on the front of his jacket, and it's the same insignia.
Nice.
He's also one of the Red Dragons.
Wow.
Well,
Yep.
shoot.
Yep, it feels good.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Tried getting this in session 1, but things happen. So now let's clap over to, no pun intended, Peyo Morazan.
Can we
You-
rest while you do the
Oh yeah,
Peyo
so
stuff?
yeah, no, okay, cool. So let's stay here. Let's stay here for a second. You're totally right. Let's stay here for a second. I guess I could have given you guys that opportunity to start planning that out. Lieutenant, I'm sorry. I've been writing your character for a long time.
Captain.
You've been lieutenant for so long. It's about time. I know. You deserve it. Captain Moore, she says to you, "I suggest you all stay put in our airship for the time. We'll be leaving tonight, and in about 10 hours, we ship out. If you get to the airship, you'll meet my brother, Izzy. He will be the one who's piloting this airship. So you guys go up the tower, the obelisk. Anybody that disagrees, anybody wants to do something, you're more than welcome to. But I'm just saying, if you want to start your resting period for the day,
Yes.
you can make your way up to the airship.
I want to rest.
I want to go to there.
I want
So
to
on-
go.
On the way up
Yeah.
path, I'm gonna get close to Nerva and strike up a conversation.
Oh yes.
Well,
Okay. Yeah. On the way up the path, go for it. Take it away. Take the dialogue away.
So you're Nerva, huh?
Yes.
I mentioned it earlier and was hushed down. Maybe we don't want to talk about it too much, but you know, everyone else told me that you had this frozen orb.
Yes, it's wrapped, but it's just in
Wrapped
my
in
bag.
what? That's the question. This is something that I explained it to them in detail earlier. It's something we were working on when I was in the lab, and it's very, very dangerous.
Yes.
I
I
built
don't
it with
have
cloth.
a magical means of like containing it, so it's just in my bag in like a burlap sack. But I
Right.
will say that I did identify it magically, so I am aware of like how powerful it is.
I don't think you know, actually. So I do have a means of containing the power for a short period of time while we make our way to Oxton. So I know we just met. If you trust me, I'm happy to contain this and make sure it doesn't explode. Did I say that? Sorry.
Right.
If you want, I explained it to them already. They got me some stones and some iron casing, wire. I just need to bind this.
Sure. I would be happy to contain it once the container is built. I know that I know that you know what it is and you helped create it. So I think that you and I are probably the only two that have any idea of how powerful it is. And I must say, I think this could be a very helpful, obviously weapon against this thing that we're our captain would probably be very, very interested in this, and I'm not sure if I'm personally like okay
Yeah. So
that.
you're pretty right. It's kind of on the turn the tides of war type dangerous. So yeah, the casing itself is like a fusing. I have to intimately like wrap these stones around the edges, and it's an artificer thing. I can't explain it to you. I just know how to do it.
Sure. Are you able to create this like today?
Yeah. They got everything I need. It shouldn't take me but just a few minutes.
No, it'll take you a day. It's gonna take you about a day of downtime to do it. But like a couple minutes is like something that your character could totally say. Like you could, I mean, like it's gonna take you a day, but like a couple minutes or.
I don't normally disagree with this kind of thing. Just go with
Yeah.
it. But in this case, it is literally just wrapping the stones in wire and then wrapping the actual frozen orb in just like a piece of like thin wire.
Well then, yeah,
it's
you
not
can,
that intricate.
You're right.
It's just,
That's fair. You can say we don't have to retcon anything. You can say like, yeah, it's only going to take a couple minutes, but it'll take a little bit more than a couple minutes.
a couple hours. But
it's going to take. You guys have. How about this? You guys have today as downtime on the airship. You can finish it definitely before midday.
Sounds good. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
So yeah,
I'm definitely of the mind to like keep it safe, and I mean this is a fascinating work that I would love to like study in an academic sense, but it kind of seems like our path might be straying away from traditional schoolwork, so to speak.
Yeah, so there's it's a good thing we're going to Oxton. The Marguerite, she's if the Mages Guild still exists, she's the one who knows how to actually create a containment vessel in the proper way. This is just a short term. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you're really old.
Yeah.
If she still exists. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Well, we can certainly ask around. Or wait, I would know whether or not the Mages Guild is still there.
Yeah, Nerva, you know the Mages Guild is still a thing. It's like
Have I heard of anybody named Marjorie or?
Not
Marguerite.
Marguerite. Yeah, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that part, but you know of the prestige. So in Oxton, the university is more. So in Oxton, everything is unionized. Everything is like run by large committees of people. The university itself isn't even really considered a university. It's more like a guild of knowledge. And so there is there's like a school in that for magic, for the mages, for people, and that's still currently active.
All right, yeah. Well, there's definitely places we could take it. I'm not sure if we know if we'll be able to find your specific person, but there's definitely the guild hall is very much still in existence.
Perfect. perfect.
I don't have much business myself in town today. I'd rather just kind of stay inside. So if you have any, questions or need any help or anything, I can help you.
Yeah, I got it covered. It's like one of those behavior. My body knows how to do it. So I just
Yeah. I understand.
years of doing these kinds of things.
And
So I
you
just
guys,
kind of slowly look at Nerva and raise my eyebrows and kind of hold my hand out.
Oh, for the orb?
Yeah, we probably shouldn't show it to many people.
Right. If we're still walking, I would be glad to go into a room or something and hand it off.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
you guys are in the back of the.
Probably for the best.
You guys are in the back of the group. It's a spiraled staircase all the way up to the top platform of the obelisk.
That's fine. Once we get settled and we get the all my tools set up, we'll be good to go.
Sounds good.
And Getafix, and Erizo, you guys are in the front of the pack. I'm just gonna guess because Eliard is not always the face of the party, but the calm one, just kind of behind the two of you, and you're eager. You're walking up the stairs to this airship. Right away, a man with a friendly smile and an eye patch greets you at the airship platform. He is not wearing a uniform of a Empire soldier. He's not wearing any of that bullshit. He resembles a more laid back train conductor in kind of baggier clothing to prevent chafing from sitting all day. And he's got a cool hat on and some airship goggles. And he looks at you guys and he's like, well, hello there. My name is Izzy. I'll be piloting the airship for you fine folk.
And I'll say, Lieutenant Moore's brother, and I'll stick out my hand.
She's a
Yeah, let's shake
captain now, And he puts his hand out. He's shaking it. She's a captain now, She's Captain Moore. He's laughing.
I do that. And I'll wink at him.
Yeah, he goes, this is my shit. Hold on a second. Holy fuck. I'm gonna have to skip back and see if I just called it an airship in the voice of Izzy. Holy shit. Oh fuck. Alright, retcon. He goes, he never mentions anything about the vessel. He just says, oh hello, my name is Izzy, and I will be piloting this vessel. and then he's like, oh yeah, she's a captain now, and does that thing. He never once calls it an airship though. Salutations. I will be flying this vessel. Welcome aboard. It's a pleasure to meet the high value guests upon my ship. And he steps back and he says, should you need anything, do not hesitate to ask. And as he gestures over to you guys, there's in the center of the ship, picture a galleon ship, for seafaring people. But in the middle of the ship, there is a cargo bay hatch that's opened right in the middle as people have they're kind of still loading stuff in and out. And next to it, there is a door. There's two hatch doors that are open, and you can see the stairs. As some people are just dropping cargo with ropes, pulley system down the cargo hatch. There's also a set of stairs, and he gestures over to it saying, do you need anything? Do not hesitate to ask. And he points down, gesturing that way, that the center of the airship is a cargo hold there, and it's very hospitable. It's a hospitable space below.
I'll say, keeper between the lines. How's your depth perception?
And he flips up his eye patch, and he has it's just like totally normal, like he's not missing an eye at all. And he says, "This just makes me look dashing, does it not?" And he lets go of it, and it flops back down over his eye, and he goes, and he like walks back, and he's just like starts walking back to the ship and doing other stuff. So yeah, you guys all feel free. You as of right now, you have 10 hours of downtime.
I'm just going straight to rest.
Cool. If you want to rest, you can rest anywhere on the ship prow. You can go anywhere on the top deck. Otherwise, the bottom deck has more accoutrement, so to speak.
Yeah, I wanna go down into the accoutrement.
Okay, and we'll get to that in a second. Peyo, you are walking up to tavern doors. They are all locked, and you're jangling. I don't know. I'm sorry. You're walking up to tavern doors, and they're locked. It's hard for you to find a tavern door. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, it's just thinking about like everything that's just happened and comparing it to his life from before. And he's just kind of exhausted and kind of wants to forget, but he's also kind of like wanting to keep fighting. And he's not really walking well, like he's almost stumbling because of just like the exhaustion and everything. He hasn't given himself time to rest. And then he just sits next to a tavern door and kind of pounds on the door and is like, "I need a beer."
But it doesn't sound like that. It's like, "I need a bit. Let me in."
He's not the tumor.
It's not the tumor. Although we mentioned Peyo Morazan was more like Cloud from Final Fantasy. So it's like you want to picture this like big nasty drunkard, but it's really this like intense fighter with just a massive greatsword.
Yeah.
What is it called? A buster? What is it called in Final Fantasy? I've never played Final
That
Fantasy.
was
Yeah,
one
the
of the
buster
words.
sword.
What is that?
You could get multiple for him, so that was one of them.
Yeah.
It's a keyblade.
Dude, Keyblade, that's making me think of Simple and Clean. Simple and clean is the way that it's meant to be. Okay, anyways. Peyo, as you're just deranged and desperately walking around. I hate to put this to the roll of the dice,
Oh boy.
but I want you to make a survival check.
Dun 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 dun.
Okay.
17.
A 17. You're sitting at the door in your lowest of benders. And as you're, "Let me in," hitting at the door, need a beer, need a drink. A thick and meaty but small hand clasps your shoulder. Who do you guys think it is?
Big Willie, the biggest Willie.
It is our other small friend. I was hoping you guys would think it was Big Willie, but it's not. And
It's a dwarf.
Peyo, you hear, this little hand grasps your shoulder, small, meaty hand. "So, big man, I will give you one other drink before you head out on the airship, but it seems like you've got a lot of soul searching to do." And she starts keying in the door to her tavern. And because your survival check, you actually, because like a fucking migratory bird, you just keep going back to Dirk's Furkery, and with a high survival, and you've been fucking beaten and battered for like over 24 hours now, and you've only slept for 3. You're just like, just migratory bird style, ended up back at Dirk's Furkery. You landed at Dirk's Furkery when you guys got there on sled dogs. You came back to Dirk's Furkery. You came back to Dirk's Furkery again. You defended Erizo. Someone ended up dying. You left on a quest, and you just like were beat. You almost got killed, brother man. And you still just like flew right back, even though despite all other odds, you just flew right back. Got in some trouble. That's opposite, but you're still you just keep going back. And she goes, "Come on in, young man. I'm gonna give you one more drink before you head out on the road."
It's because I'm a wanderer. Because
It's
that
because you're a
excellent memory for
wanderer.
maps.
Yep. That's exactly it. You have the wanderer feature, which means you can always make your way through a labyrinth. And sometimes that labyrinth is fucking mental. And we need to all, and I'm not trying to meme it here, I want to be very serious. Sometimes the mental labyrinth is real. And what it takes is just a little bit of friendship. And if you wouldn't have rolled high enough, you would have got your shit kicked in by some thugs. But you'd rolled well enough. And so Cirque lets you in. She opens up the door, and she walks behind the bar right away. "I just got done paying my taxes. I am good for about another month or 2. But I want you to help me out, young man. My tavern has seen a lot of wear and tear because of the likes of you. I want you, young men, to tell me and tell the rest of the townsfolk here that I'll pass on to them. I'll tell them on your stead. I want you to tell me you're sorry."
Sir. And then I pass out into my beer.
That's how they come and go. The strongest of us always tend to leave us when we need them most. And she just takes the beer from your hand, and she starts walking away. You guys, let's just say you had 10 hours of downtime on the airship. It's been about a couple hours now have gone by.
I'm assuming at
Yeah.
this point, Nerva, are you helping me with the binding?
Yeah, so how about this? Yeah, you just finished. You've finished whatever work you had to do before you had access to the orb. Like you've gotten as far as you needed to, and now you're ready for this interaction. Yep.
All right, so I've got everything I need set up. Can you just pass me the orb, please?
Of course. And then I reach into my bag and I keep it in the cloth or whatever. And I
hold
very
my hand out and
carefully
cup it underneath the cloth, just in case.
very carefully I hand it over, and I'm watching him and looking at the orb I'm watching what's happening.
Perfect. This is it. So I very carefully sit down cross-legged and put the orb on the ground so it's not moving, and grab the spool of my iron wire, and I grab the 4 stones that I've got and kind of take my little rock hammer, small hammer that I have, and start making them in a sense that would kind of fit on a cube, so it's smoothing out like one side of
Yeah.
each.
It's
For an
like it's
orb on
almost
a
like
cube.
masonry tools. It's just like a little
It's
hammer.
like imagine like the little rock hammer in Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's like, you know, meant to do some intricate
Now,
carving.
Anthony
and-
Dufresne did a lot of taxes in them. Oh, my favorite line from Shawshank Redemption is, "Come on, Warden. After spending all that time in the sun, you'd want a nice cold bottle of suds." Every time I hear that, I want a fucking beer. I mean, they're like tarring the roof, and he's like, "You'd want a
Yeah.
cold
yeah.
bottle of suds." I'm like, suds, man. They sound so good.
Especially on a hot day.
So on a
Oh, yeah.
hot day, you want some suds.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
I'm
There it
totally
is.
picturing Anthony Dufresne now for Garett. That's like
Sure, I
let's-
could look like
yeah,
Anthony Dufresne. Why not?
That's exactly what you look like. And then you're like, yeah, you kind of got your hood up. You're like, yeah, no, I can help you out. I got this, and I can do your taxes too.
Maybe.
Cool.
Go ahead.
And let's while you're wrapping all that shit up.
So yeah, I'm just getting the
Yeah,
fusings
and-
going, and it's not looking like super intricate with designs. It's kind of looking a little janky.
Nice.
Because I've had 50 years of fog. My hands
Right.
don't work well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm like, you know, place it down on the cloth and put it in my lap at this point, and just, you know, slap my hands. Job's done.
Make a stability check. Roll. So let's just say, like not an intelligence saving throw, but I think it's going to be the same modifiers. So let's just do a D20 plus your intelligence modifier plus proficiency. So D20 plus 3 plus your intelligence mod, which I don't know offhand.
16.
Okay, this is plus 3.
Yep.
So D20 plus 6.
No, my intelligence modifier is 2.
Oh,
it'd
so
be
plus 5. Yep.
So I rolled an 11. It was 16.
Oh, okay, cool. Yep. So it looks a little jank. Definitely looks a little jank. But like you guys are like looking at it, the way you had wrapped it and put the stone together, Nerva, you looking at it, you can see his hands are a little shaky. You can see he's kind of like working hard, but you both have this air of confidence that it's a lot more stable than just sitting in some cloth. Especially for being on an airship.
So it is an airship. No, I don't care. It's just before you.
You said airship.
If somebody, it's an airship, but I'm just waiting for somebody to say in character out loud airship.
Oh.
It's a whole thing that unless you know the Mummy 2 the way I do, you wouldn't get it, and it's fine. It's totally for me. But we'll get to that. If anybody ever calls it an airship out loud, you'll figure out. Cool. And so I want to know, while that's going on, Getafix and Eliard, a couple of hours have gone by. What's going through your mind? Getafix, you mentioned you were just resting, right? And so I just
Yeah.
want to let you know, resting doesn't have to get 8 hours. Oh, Getafix and Eliard, the both of you have 2 levels of exhaustion.
Yeah.
It takes 8 hours to cure 1 point of exhaustion. So you guys need 16 hours of just like not moving.
Yeah.
You don't have to be sleeping because you can take watch, you can read a book and other things.
I have like a special thing I do that I haven't done yet. I play cards.
Hold on a second. What did you say?
I have like a special. I forget what it's called, but there's like a special like activity. Like, well, I don't even know.
Yeah, a deck of cards.
Yeah, it's like a part of my. It's like a part of my character.
As a soldier, you got a deck of cards.
Yeah.
Okay, so what the fuck do you do with the deck of cards?
I mean,
You tell me. Take it away. Improv.
Getafix and I are resting and just playing cards with each other.
Well, you can't speak for Getafix. Ask him if he wants to play cards. Take over the
You wanna-
role play.
Getafix, you wanna play some cards with me? I don't want to sleep, and I don't really want to do much staring at nothing.
I mean, I'm really tired. Is this gonna help me?
Maybe it will. Okay,
It's honestly, it's just a deck of cards. You have proficiency in it. If at any point if at any point you're like gambling, or if you're just like playing a card game of any kind, you have proficiency when playing with that. But it's also like in your inventory, you do have a deck of cards, so you could be playing solitaire or the equivalent, right?
Yeah.
Like
So
you ask
Getafix
Getafix, and he's like half snoring. He's like sleeping on a bag of straw, and it's just like a really makeshift. What is that called? What is that called back in the day? A pallet, which is just like a bed of straw. He's just like on a pallet in a corner. He's like, it's just like.
And I just kind of think of how nice the bed of straw was that or the hay was that I slept on.
On the horse stable in the beginning of the episode.
I just let him sleep, and I'm sitting at a table, but I kind of kick the chair that I have. I lean back in the chair up against a wall, and I'm just playing solitaire with myself.
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, that's all I'm doing.
Yep, just playing some cards, just taking your rests.
Before
Yeah.
I pass out, I want to pop my head up and tell Izzy he's not gonna get shot in the ass again.
No, go ahead. No, take it over. Take the roleplay. Don't just fucking say that. Do it. Say it in character.
Pop my head up and say, Izzy, don't worry. You won't get shot in the ass again.
You have seen my bullet wounds in my anus. It is a tall tale of many great pilots. It is our job to float down and extract. And unfortunately, we are disproportionately wounded at most times in our anus. And he laughs.
I'll wink and give him the thumbs up, and then go back down and pass out.
Yeah, he gives you a thumbs up back. Peyo Morazan, you have been sleeping at the bar for... It's been about 5 hours, 6 hours. And when you wake up... Oh, God, Kevin, I'm so sorry. When you wake up, you're dead.
What?
No,
What?
I'm just fucking around.
Motherfucker woke up dead.
I really want to. You rolled a high enough survival. Cirque, you rolled... Honestly, bro, I should just fucking kill you. But I let you roll that survival. I should let you roll that survival. No, dude, fucking realistically, if you fell asleep at a bar that you just not only killed somebody in, you then fucking murdered more people in, but then brought them back, and you're back there, and I was the motherfucker whose friends you killed, and then you fucking had a friend that stabbed me, and I was brought back to life, and I was confused, and I'm in my tavern, I would cut your fucking throat while you're passed out. But you rolled a high enough survival, and that survival, guess what? If you want to multi-class right now as a paladin, you could. Because you owe Cirque, the last remaining dwarf in, as far as anybody fucking knows, the entire northern region of Aurum. She has saved your life, and you owe it to her. I don't care how you want to pay it back to her, because those thugs, these people with the fisherman insignia that you don't even know because you never even take the time to stop and look, but Nerva did, or whoever the fuck it was that, yeah, Nerva investigated the body to see that. They came in,
Well, we heard word that you had a fucking deal down there. We're gonna come and kill him. And Cirque was all like, well, you're gonna have to get through me then. He's a good man. He's a little bit misunderstood. Yeah, we're gonna fucking cut these fucking nipples off. And they're like, well, his little hard glass nipples belong to me now. His little glass nipples belong to me, and you will bow down to me and his little glass nipples. I have moved him into a bedroom where he's going to rest, and then he will leave Goodhead, and he will not come back again. And then she says, and he apologized. And that was her deception check. And he apologized for all the things that he has done here. You all can go home now and go back to your lives. And the like of him will never come back again. And they... Well, sir, you've lost a couple patrons from us, and they were gonna come back here and drink the fucking... That's good of you, then. And when I tell me dads, Dirk and Ferk, you're never gonna want to come back here again, because they'd have lived in the sled dogs of him, and he have come here on the sled dogs of me dads, and you're gonna fucking catch the wave. Yeah, fuckers, and it's just some fucking, small town bullshit. And Peyo, you wake up in a bed. You're still not well rested yet. But Cirque has shaken you awake now. And she has a small tray of food. And she says, you best get going. Your party's all leaving out to town now. I can't protect you much longer. And I strongly suggest you leave. You don't belong here. In fact, young man, I don't believe you belong anywhere. But if you eat the soup, I think the soup will bring a whole lot of constitution back into your life.
I look at her and I say thank you, and I eat the soup.
And she says, that's a good young man. I know life ain't easy for any of us. Take it from me. I'm a small business owner. It is never easy. But we do what we can and take it one day at a time. Should I call for a ride for you to get to the obelisk, or can you walk yourself?
No, I'm good. I'll walk.
That's a good young man. And she pulls from a bottle of dwarven whiskey, which everybody, you don't know this, but everybody thinks dwarven whiskey is extinct. And she hands you the bottle of dwarven whiskey, and she says, take it with you on your journey. It's the last bottle you got. If you do me a big favor, I've got over 10 gold of damages done to my house from the night of last. If you part with 10 gold, help me out refurbishing Dirk's Furkery. Your party's not welcome here in Goodhead ever again, I'll tell you that much. But should you find yourself back in my sweet old Dirk's Furkery, you've always got a warm bed here, young man.
I smile at her and I open up my purse and I.
You can call it a purse. It's okay. Gender norms
Yeah.
are fucked here. I have literally in real life. I do own a small like wallet purse. That's what I instead of a billfold. I do in real life use like a little purse.
It wasn't. So I was thinking purse, but like I'm thinking like coin purse though.
That's totally fine. Yeah. So you deposit 10 gold.
Yeah.
Okay. You now own 10% of Dirk's Furkery.
What?
But I also left her some money under the pillow.
Yep, you forever have deposit. I'm looking at the sheet. Deposit whatever. Deposit what gold you want.
Already did. I
okay.
took. So this was.
I see it. I know what you're at, dude. I look at all the sheets every day.
Yeah.
You guys think I fucking take a nap?
Who said that?
Who said
what?
that?
Okay. And now, Peyo.
Over to the obelisk. I'm
Yeah.
looking for Getafix.
Well, you don't see Getafix. They're all packing up the tents and stuff. And all the soldiers are in formation now. The tents are all packed up. The folks are... There's no, like, city folk anymore. It's just, like, Sunday afternoon. The Packers aren't playing. It's a bye week. They're just kind of, like... It's quiet. You know, people are all inside. You get a couple of scorn looks from people that you do see. But the folks, the troops are all lined up in a ranks. And there's one private who's in the ranks. And you can see Lieutenant... I'm sorry, but Captain Moore. And she nods at the young private. And he breaks rank. And he runs over to you and he goes... Master Peyo, sir, the rest of your party is up in the airship, and they're gonna be leaving soon. Just go on up the obelisk and you'll find your way, sir. And he just nods and he starts running back to his formation. As Captain Moore has been like giving orders, she's like dictating orders.
I nod and I just go up.
Okay, and as you get to the top of the obelisk, you see the captain, Izzy. I'm sorry, not the captain, the conductor, Izzy. And he goes, "Welcome to my ship. I assume that you are our friend, Brother Peyo."
Yeah, that's my name. That's a nice airship you got here.
Hey, it's a dirigible. It's a dirigible.
I don't know, man. It looks like an airship to me.
And he's smiling at you, but he's the guy with crazy eyes. He goes, "I welcome you, Brother Peyo, to my dirigible. I encourage you to make yourself as comfortable as you can." And he walks away looking, and then he looks over his shoulder and he whispers "It's a dirigible."
It's an airship, bro.
It's a dirigible.
Quiet, they'll never hear you coming.
And I go and I find I try to find a place to sleep.
You find a nice comfy spot. You can be below deck or on top deck. That's totally up to you. Everybody who was on the airship minus... Okay, so Nerva... And actually, Nerva, you only spent a small time handing over the orb. You can have a long rest if you'd like, because you also only take 4 hours as a drow. Right. So, Nerva, you've had a long rest?
Yeah, I was... Not really. I didn't really have any plans for it. I was going to maybe look through my cantrips and switch one out.
Yeah, you've got...
If that's not urgent, I won't.
It's not. Nothing's urgent. As of now, you've had over 8 hours. So you only need 4 for a long rest, and it didn't take you long to pass the orb over to Garett. So, you've had a long rest, Nerva. Getafix, Eliard, you have had a long rest, so you're now down to 1 point of exhaustion. Everybody else, minus Peyo, you have 1 point of exhaustion as well. So I'm going to say that Peyo, Getafix, and Eliard, you guys are... It's nighttime, and you guys are now all at 1 point of exhaustion and,
Where's that again?
And resting. What's that? Where's what?
The exhaustion.
That's in my fucking brain, Tamir. Let me tell you, dude.
But we get all our spell slots back.
You
right?
can put exhaustion on the character sheets.
Yep, you can put exhaustion on the character sheets if you find a place. You can keep track of it. I personally have it in my DM notebook. That's where I'm actively reading these lines, where I have 70. I just want to let you know, I've got 40 pages right now of DM notes. You guys are on page 19.
So you can put it on your Roll20 sheet if you look at the top right of the sheet, it says core biospells, and there's a little cog wheel.
Mhm.
If you click that, and then all the way to the right, that big box that starts with NPC. If you go down, you can it'll say show exhaustion tracking, and you can just click on,
Oh yeah, I see that now.
and it shows up in the middle
Oh,
of
yeah.
your core page, and you can actually go up and down with points, and it'll tell you what the
Cool.
effects are.
And you guys do not have to do that though. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Like that's like I keep track of it here on the sheet. If you start changing too much of the algorithms, like it could be 5 episodes from now and you never changed it back, and suddenly you're rolling your skill checks with disadvantage and you have no idea why. But that is good to know. As of now, you guys could surmise that you've got a lot of downtime. So let me just pick back up with what I was saying. Eliard, Getafix, and Peyo, you guys have 1 point of exhaustion, and you are, I'm assuming, continuing your rest. Nerva, did you ever take a point of exhaustion?
I don't think so. I don't remember
think you
ever
m-
having to deal with that. Or
I think
did
you might have, but the fact that you gain your long rest is only like 4 hours because you're a drow. An elf, you go into a trance. I think you never really had to worry about that too much because of your meditation.
Yeah, I
And-
feel like I didn't really make any. I don't know. I guess I could have made my skill checks in the city at disadvantage.
Yeah.
But it all ended up pretty bad anyway.
And Garett, where you're at, you are not suffering from exhaustion yet, but you need to rest tonight.
Yeah, so I'm gonna finish up and take a long rest as well.
So you kind of finish up, and maybe you're just like keeping that stuff close by you. If it's fair for me to just group you, you can sleep wherever you want, but I just want to say this out loud for sake of mechanic. Getafix, Eliard, Peyo, Garett. You guys are all resting with the intention of an 8 hours rest. Nerva, you are free to move about the cabin and do what you need right now through the night. It's nighttime. Peyo, I'm sorry, I think I said Erizo. I meant to say Peyo. Nerva and Erizo, I think you were resting that whole time. You didn't really say anything when you're on the ship during the day. So Erizo and Nerva, you guys are well rested. And Erizo, it is nighttime on the ship. And you're up, you're awake. And Captain Moore walks up the obelisk. And there is a soldier from the Empire that's walking with her. And you recognize him as an Aakokra, just like you, a birdman.
What?
And she looks at him as they walk onto the ship, and she says, Grazek, I will not need your assistance this time. And she looks over at you. She looks back at him, indicating that it's like she's indicating at you. I have an Aakokra on this return home, so you can stay with the soldiers and help investigate the wizard's dungeon. I'm sorry, I know you don't like the cold, but should you need inspiration, you will be promoted a rank if you lead this group of young soldiers into the dungeon and procure for me any evidence of how we can continue to penetrate Sorcerer Sephiron's lair. Lieutenant Grazak. And so he, the Birdman, the Aakokra, just salutes and starts walking back down the city. He goes, yes, anything for you, Captain Moore. And he turns around and turns his heels. And what it looks like he just got promoted to lieutenant. So he just took the Ayakokra took the place. And Erizo, you know as an Ayakokra, and especially as a ranger or somebody who's like been an Ayakokra for hire, a lot of Ayakokra, it's like for every airship, there's not a lot of airships out there, but for all airships, there's always one Ayakokra on the airship. And it's kind of like a lifeguard. If somebody falls off the airship, an Ayakokra can save somebody. So it's like when she dismissed him and promoted him lieutenant and sent him off, and then looked at you, she's looking at you and she's saying like, you're the lifeguard of this airship now. And in fact, she walks onto the ship and she goes, my sweet Erizo, you will be our new lifeguard of this airship. It's a dirigible! Yells her brother from the helm as he's like getting ready to go.
It's a dirigible.
It's a dirigible. Shout out to Wonderbread208 for inspiring me to do this whole campaign. Balloon. It's a dirigible. And Erizo, how do you respond to that responsibility? That you're now the lifeguard of the sky on this airship.
Lifeguard of the sky.
Dude, it's a lot of responsibility, but it's also a lot of respect. If anybody in your party falls off the airship, it's up to you to catch them.
I will put myself up to that challenge for everyone on this ship. Yes.
Very good, my Ayakokra associate. And she puts her hand out to you. She puts her hand out to you in a very remember when she took your hand and kissed it?
Mm-hmm.
Like she was like kissing your hand. She puts her hand out to you now in a very feminine way, and she's putting her hand out to you with like the palm facing down, the like knuckles facing upward for you to kiss her hand.
I grab it. I grab her hand. I kiss it, and then I do a quick 1-2 to pull her a little closer.
And as you pull her closer, her opposite hand that she handed out to you touches your waist. What do you do to that hand?
Before. That one I let it stay on my hand, and then.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And she takes her non-dominant hand and she slides it over to your coin purse that's on your hip, and you hear and you hear a chink as you hear one gold coin slip into your purse. And she goes, "Thank you," and kisses your little bird beak.
A feather sticks.
She gives you a gold coin for being the She gives you a gold coin for being the Sky Guard.
Like the Sky Guard.
Sky Marshal?
Yes. Sky Marshal.
I
Ooh,
whispered.
Sky Marshal sounds cool. Thanks, Josie. I like that a lot. let me just erase.
You're
10,
welcome.
Let me just erase 10 pages here. Sky Marshal. Okay, yeah. Okay, that changes everything.
Lifeguard.
Yeah, that changes everything. Sky Marshal. Okay, cool. And as that happens, Izzy is now at the helm. Everybody that's like currently resting or playing cards with themselves or fixing up a chest for a WMD orb or looking over their spell book, like whatever you're doing on the ship.
I would like to
Yeah.
think I'm on the top deck now, just kind of like looking out.
Yeah, you're well rested. Yeah, now you're just looking over the city.
Kind of hanging out. Yeah, like reading
You're
or
like
whatever.
looking at the wizards who are doing transmutation magic now for that green aurora. Now that you have like a literal point blank view of it at the top of the tower, all that stuff. Yeah, looking at your book. And it's nighttime. Daylight was only a couple hours anyways, but now it's like ship off time. And everybody hears from the helm a bell. Ding, 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 ding. And Izzy goes, Makalon, today descent to Oxton. Ding, ding, as the bell goes off. And the ropes from the airship untie. And you guys are now on an airship to Oxton. How do you guys like this airship I drew?
This is very beautiful.
I didn't know it was an airship.
It's a dirigible!
It's a dirigible!
It's a dirigible!
You know what? They got one thing right. You are going to get shot in the ass.
You know what? That's too good. Yeah, so you guys can move your characters wherever you want. It's not a big deal. But at the Makalon, you guys and the airship ships off. That's where we're gonna end this session tonight. Anybody that wants to stick around for a mini game, I do have a mini game prepared.
Sure.
Yes.
So, anybody want to stick around for this mini game?
I'm in.
Estimation
Good
of
for it.
the time it'll take.
It could take 5 minutes to 20 minutes. I don't want it to go past 10:35. 15 minutes. It's not gonna take long.
All right, I'll stick around.
It's
I'm
up to
gonna
you
head
guys.
out.
Okay.
Thanks, Logan.
Yeah, anytime, man. Thanks for being a teammate.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you, Kevin. Okay, so are the rest of you sticking around?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm here.
Eliard, are you still here? Oh my god, Eliard, are you dead? Alright, yeah, he's dead. Here's the mini game.